Initiating System 1. System 1 loaded.
The GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, Gorecasters? Welcome back here to the Gorecast with me, Johnny Deadly, and all of my home slices who are getting sauced tonight because I know.
I'm not.
Well, Giz isn't getting sauced, but I occasionally drink on the show as well. Today being one of those occasions. I've got a Rick and Morty awesome tanker, and inside Rick and Morty is withheld a beer known as To Hells and Back, and I was like, all of this is very much me. I'm drinking it.
I just did the shit out of the name.
Anyway, we're back for a group chat Thursday where we have a whole host of movies for you. Today's theme is picked by our young lad to the right of me, left of me, Carter. So I'll let you take it away as to what we're doing shenanigans-wise tonight. I also, because I was drinking, was listening to a lot of House of Pain, which is why I'm mentioning the word shenanigans, and it will probably appear several times during the show.
Those who break the law go to the House of Pain.
Yes.
Shenanigans should.
Also, if you're Irish, we all love shamrocks and shenanigans. So.
I think shenanigans may be my favorite.
Shenanigans is the best word ever invented.
Right.
Shenanigans.
And it can be used for multiple occasions.
Yeah, like, I mean, do you remember in South Park they had the whole episode where it was like, I call shenanigans, shenanigans. No, just me. Okay, cool. Anyway, moving on. Carter, if you want to explain
depending on the season, I stopped at South Park after like season 1, so I probably missed it.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Like full crowd and just stop before I started. Just say no.
Yeah, you missed out on a lot of fun. I won't lie to you. It's a good show.
I've seen episodes here and there, but like I was like, all right, no, it is what it is.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker, if you are watching, we're just the kind of crew that you're looking for. Just to let you know, we're great.
Okay, but I did like.
I mean, if they pay me, I'll watch. That's fine.
We're great in puppet format. If you wanted to do some sort of, I don't know. Do you remember when you had Korn on the show? I'd be okay with you bringing us in a similar sort of Korn capacity.
That would be fucking cool.
It'd be great. Anyway, Carter, what's the
right, so
what's the theme of the show tonight?
we always try to do a theme. And, I was digging through my movies and realized there's like a lot of dope movies, like Don't Blink, Don't Breathe, stuff like that. And I had forgotten I was going to do like this whole like sensory thing: Don't Blink, Don't Breathe, Don't Look, and shit. But I'd forgotten you guys had already covered Don't Breathe when it came out. And so I had to dig around real quick, and I found a Don't Knock Twice.
Yes, because it's I won't lie to you, it was very entertaining to see a guy who you would, by description, when you hear the movie happening, be like, well, this guy's going to get his fucking shit fucked in or whatever, you know, because of whatever. And then it turns out that it's like, oh no, he's a legit fucking murder machine.
Right. Satoichi. Yeah. No, that was a fucking good movie.
It's a great movie.
But yeah, so I dug up Don't Blink.
He's not just a murder machine, actually. He's a fucking psychotic murder machine on top of that. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Those are the best.
Katie, don't push the red button.
We've already had that discussion.
Yes, we have.
It will happen. I just won't tell you when, because I'm the wild card, baby. Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure we'll figure it out when the stream like cuts randomly. Although then again, that could just be
the internet.
Yeah, I could probably piss somebody off, and because that tends to happen too. And I don't have to push. Well, actually, I do push buttons, but not buttons.
So I came up with Don't Blink 2014, Don't Knock Twice 2016, and Don't Listen 2020.
And stay tuned to the end so we can tell you which ones to don't watch. I did that one.
Nice.
I wouldn't say there's any of them. I would say don't watch. It was very good, by the way. I won't lie to you. That was good.
What?
It was good.
Oh.
The don't watch thing. But I was like, there's a. What's the best way of putting it? Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any of them that I would say don't watch off the top of my head. Do you know what I mean?
None of them are really long enough to really waste your time.
I love how your assessment of movies is how long of my life have I invested into this movie.
Honestly, that's the first thing I do. I look how long it is. I'm like, okay, I can manage. Anything over 2 hours, and I'm like, yep.
So do you kind of go in pre-wired? Really? Do you kind of go in pre-wired? Like say I can't, what's a long movie that we reviewed recently?
The thing is, honestly,
Justice League.
No, not Justice League, because
technically,
the thing with Justice League, but the thing with Justice League is you don't have to watch it in 4 hours. You can do it in an hour and a half increments. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, technically, you don't have to watch any movie.
Yes, I know, but Justice League was specifically designed where if one was so inclined, you could stop at this point.
I mean,
go do your dinner or whatever, and then come back tomorrow, and you're like, oh, it's like movie 2.
Yeah, it's the chapterized, like an episodic, if you want.
Yeah, that definitely makes it.
You know what I mean?
No, I kind of hate life when Costner did his 3-hour fucking reaches for the Postman and.
Yes. Okay. Say the Postman. Would you look at the back of the box for the Postman? I know this is technically a bad example because it's a bad movie, but would you look at the box for the Postman and kind of go in a little bit pre-wired, I'm not going to like this movie.
No, well,
it's 3.5 hours long. Hey Bree, welcome to the chat. How are you? And Jane O'Doherty, welcome to the chat. And Pam, welcome to the chat.
Hi Jane. Hi Katie. Hi Wednesday.
And Katie, welcome to the chat. And Wednesday, welcome to the chat.
And the length really doesn't have anything to do with it. Wink, wink. But
funny story. Is that specific wink, wink that you just did right there? Is the entire reason I brought this conversation up.
I was kind of curious about Lord of the Rings and shit because going into a movie like this, you can go into 3 hours of the Avengers if you're a fan.
Yes.
I won't lie to you. You can go into a 3 hours Avengers movie not as a fan and still enjoy a 3-hour Avengers movie.
No,
Lord of the Rings, if you're not a fan of Lord of the Rings, is out of a 9-hour series, it's easily 6 hours of walking.
When it comes to Lord of the Rings, I've seen
each movie once. The book out of a 5,000 whatever page book, it's easily 4,000 pages of walking. Or or Tolkien tripping on mushrooms and stuff.
So I've seen Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings
being a different movie.
One.
And
others would know it as How to Train Your Dragon.
My interpretation of Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Love How to Train Your Dragon.
Have you guys seen Clerks 2?
Yes, I've seen.
Yes,
that's how I feel of Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah. Oh, I won't lie to you. The first time I saw Clerks 2 and he did that, I actually stood up and applauded.
Yes.
Yep.
He was like,
Movie 1.
You're arguing about
Movie 2.
Yeah.
Movie 3.
They're arguing about who's got the definitive series, categorically. Is it Lord of the Rings or Star Wars? And I was just like, I won't lie to you. Don't get me wrong. I know Lord of the Rings is a big famous book and everything like that, and I quite enjoyed the book, but Star Wars has got spaceships.
Wow.
Star Wars has got spaceships and it's got Ewoks, number one. And number two, your man just he nailed the Lord of the Rings movies. He's right. It's literally, I'm walking through a field. Oh, fuck. I'm walking through another field. Oh, Sean Bean died. Oh, blop.
Hang on. Just briefly, right? Just briefly. And this is something that actually happened. I swear to the gods, this actually happened, right? When the Fellowship of the Ring came out, okay? and was out in DVD or whatever.
Beer is way too drinkable out of this tanker. This is dangerous. Just pointing that out right now.
Anyway, when Lord of the Rings came out, one of the lads was inside an HMV, this like DVD place in Limerick, sells DVDs, CDs, all this. And there was a couple of girls in front of him in line, and it was a big long line because it was coming up near Christmas, and Lord of the Rings was out in DVD, and they were doing all this other stuff. And I swear to the gods, apparently this chick turned around and went, "Oh, would you look at that? They're after doing a book of that Lord of the Rings film."
Oh,
and the entire...
Get out of my shop. Get out of my shop.
The entire queue had that reaction. The entire queue just went, "Oh, God.
Be gone from my shop, young one."
So Wednesday says that she has tattoos
I was just
Lord
gonna
of the Rings.
Hey, I'm
nice.
not...
nothing wrong with that.
I'm not shitting on Lord of the Rings as a thing. I am a little bit. I do like it, though.
I'll be honest, I'd rather... Lord of the Rings is the only time where I'd rather watch the films than read the book, because the Lord of the Rings, I decided to try and read it all in one sitting. It put me off novels, long-form novels, until someone literally threw a Game of Thrones off my head.
Do you know what actually fucked me up with the Lord of the Rings books? And it was the one thing that I'll always say the movies kind of retconned, because you got to see a battle.
Pages of looking at grass?
No, not... Well, yes, there's that, but it's deeper, right? So at least in the movies, you got the battle scenes. Like, in the book... He could fucking be talking about, as you said, a blade of grass for 50 pages, and then he'll skim through an entire battle over the course of 3, and you're like, what in the fuck is going on? I don't give a fuck about the grass. I want to hear about the orcs murdering people, you asshole.
Here's what I do.
I'm not that I'm calling Tolkien an asshole. I retract that statement. It's the beer talking.
Yeah.
He's not an asshole.
Here's what I do. I watch the films, and then I read
HMV is gone from Limerick, unfortunately, Katie.
Yeah, well gone.
I
watch the films. And then I read The Scouring of the Shire, which is the only ending worth a shit that's actually the reason for the entire story that they left out of the fucking films. Show these lads going off the war and coming back as heroes, and they completely left it out of the fucking films.
That's my issue with the Lord of the Rings movies, is they have no fucking idea how to end any of those fucking flicks whatsoever. It's like, oh, Sam's ended happy and everyone's got rid of the ring. We've got a nice happy ending. Oh, no, wait, we got to get more fireworks because there's another thing waiting to happen. Oh, no, wait, it turns out Sam's after knocking up some fucking bird. When does this movie end? It's already been 9.5 fucking hours. Seriously, could it not just be, I plopped the thing in the fucking volcano. We all have a big high five, and then it's just kind of like, yeah, Lord of the Rings.
If that's
and then
how it ends,
cuts to the credits.
They did 3 endings. They did 3 endings, and none of them were the one that was actually the point of the story.
Jane O'Doherty, I really appreciate the fact that Jane O'Doherty, I really appreciate the fact that you said verbatim what I said on air at the same time. It's great. When Katie asked about HMV, I said, no, HMV is gone, unfortunately. Did she?
Well,
okay. Well, yeah. Okay, awesome. We're on the same.
I wasn't going to say anything because I don't know.
Well, as has been obviously proven, I was unaware.
So back to the whole point of this discussion. No movies, long movies, huh?
The films of tonight.
Long movies do not put me off. I was more just saying, as like a matter of fact, of like saying that at least these movies weren't that long, so it's not that bad. And like I actually don't mind long movies.
So watching a 3-hour movie and then finding out you didn't like it.
If it's good, I'll watch it. If it's garbage, then I'll complain about it.
If I was to synopsize my entire view on tonight's show in order, I'd be like, really liked it, but the idea of the premise you weren't able to execute properly because the rules just change depending on who's getting fucking murdered. Second movie, I really, really enjoyed it until the ending where it was just everyone was like, duh, there's a demon. Okie dokie. And then the demon shows up. And then the third movie, I won't lie to you, it was shot fucking beautifully. I don't know, was it just I wasn't in the mood for... I was editing while watching the third movie, and sometimes when I start getting into syncing up audio and everything, I get real anal about the audio real quick.
Okay, especially because it was subtitled.
Yes, no, there was also audio subtitles. So first,
it wasn't subtitled for me.
Yeah, so first,
because I watched it off of Netflix, so you guys watched probably what was.
I watched it on Netflix as well.
It was dubbed for me.
I've technically, I'll put it this way, and it's not actually faulting the movie. I think it was just the way my brain was wired at the time. I was watching it with the English dub, and because the English dub obviously doesn't sync up perfectly because one person's talking Spanish and one person's talking English, and I was editing audio, that really bugged me, and I was finding it really hard to get into the movie. So I was like, okay, maybe this is one of these, I need to watch it with the subtitles, and then I just couldn't get into it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there for that fun, and I was thinking straight away in my head, Buzz is probably not going to like this film, mainly because I didn't realize it came in dubbed. I just put it on and went,
the Netflix version was dubbed because like I didn't realize it was a foreign film, so like I was watching it and I was like, I'm like,
were you just like thinking someone did a really bad job in the audio, or what was it?
Who?
Well, no, I was just like I didn't.
No, I got it. Oh.
No, I didn't realize it was foreign when I going into it. I didn't
Bill,
realize.
Welcome to chat. How are you?
I was the same way, Buzz.
So like
when
when
I put it on and the opening credits,
and I
like,
started
wait a minute.
watching it, and I didn't have the subtitles, so again, I still wasn't really putting two to two together. I just heard the dubbing, and then I was kind of like, I may have been on my phone at the beginning, and then I kind of started watching it. I'm like, that's not matching up what he's saying and what I'm hearing.
Yeah, see, when I got it,
it's not working.
When I got it, it had subtitles, and I was like, cool, start. And I was looking at my phone, and I heard Spanish, and I was like, wait, what? I look up subtitles. Oh, fuck, Buzz is going to hate this motherfucker with a passion.
I won't lie to you.
So glad I wasn't the only one thinking it.
I'll tell you what.
I'm glad I'm that predictable.
I'll tell you what. I'll save the rest of my conversation about the last movie until the last movie. Do you know what I mean? Because I have a lot of good things to say about the movie. It was just, for some reason, I just couldn't get into the... I don't know. I think it was just my head wasn't in the mood for it.
That's how I was with the... I don't know what order we're doing them, but that's how I was with the Witch. Or, well, there's two of them with witches. Fuck.
Is there?
Don't knock.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
Don't knock twice. That's how I was with Don't Knock Twice. I'm just watching it. I'm just like, I'm not
the
it.
order is in the order of the article, so it's going to be Don't Blink, Don't Knock Twice, and Don't Listen.
You guys just said that you said that something that I had to read I wasn't going to like, so you think I'm going to read the article?
I put a lot of heart in there, bro.
Anyway, seeing as we mentioned...
I love you and everything, but I just
I'm going to say hi to Bill.
I said hi to... Okay, cool. I said hi to Bill there like 5 minutes ago, but anyway.
I did. I missed it. That's why I said just briefly, I'm going to say hi to Bill.
Okay.
Because I missed
Well,
it.
that is fair enough. Right, so what we're going to do is, I think, we're going to start getting... Ooh, Jesus. We're going to start getting into movie one, which is Don't Blink, starring, as we've discussed, one of the GoreCast favourite people, Zach Ward, because we love him. He's great.
Might I just say, at the outset of this movie, Zach Ward in this
is great.
I'm not going to lie, did everything I would have done, although I admit, I'd like to think he was a little bit more manic than I am, but I admit I could have been just as manic.
I won't lie to you. That thought actually crossed my mind as well, because you and I think on the same wavelength. That I was like, I may not have started waving the gun around so willy-nilly, or if I was going to wave the gun around willy-nilly, I definitely wasn't going to let someone rob it off me. I'll put it that way.
Right.
I'd have been like, that wouldn't have left my hand. I'd have been all like, gun in the hand, bitch. And also when your one started going all fucking Jesus lover, I was like, I don't normally hit women. But he's kind of right, because that girl's gone manic. Because, I not refuting religion or anyone's choice in religion or anything like that, but it's when someone who isn't religious goes that religious, that fucking quick, that's called a mental breakdown. The
elastic band is snapped.
Yeah. Your twig's gone. Do you know what I mean? You read like the intro to the Bible and you're already like, we are doomed.
Right.
Hellfire. Anyway, who's taking...
I liked this one because it had Zach Ward and Brian Austin Green.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I haven't seen him since the
Beverly Hills 90210
TV series. No, the Terminator TV series.
Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah. Well, did you ever catch those movies he did called Cross?
No. Nope.
It was kind of like a attempted superhero thing. He had like a charm thing that gave him his ability.
You know what?
Weird,
I actually do. I actually do, but the name had eluded me completely. Yes, I do.
Yeah. I didn't realize there was three of them, so I had like one more to watch.
He was always I won't lie to you, in his defense, he was always a good choice for kind of a superhero kind of guy, because he was that right amount of rugged enough but also really good looking enough for that typical superhero look.
Chiseled good looks, is that what you're looking for?
Not so much just chiseled. Do you know what I mean? It's like he'd nearly be pretty if he didn't have such manly facial hair. Did you get what I'm saying? That kind of
Right.
like
He's rugged.
he would have been
Like,
he would have been an
that's
awesome what's the DC version what's the DC version? No, what's the Marvel version of Aquaman? Submariner?
Namor, the Submariner.
Yeah. He would have been an awesome Namor if they gave him like the slick back haircut.
Pointy ears.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, what's funny is like, and I don't think he really gets enough like fucking props though, because he's actually pretty talented. He did a TV show where it was more of a comedy, like The Wedding Band, and like he's got versatility.
I think you'll find a lot of those people from Beverly Hills 90210 kind of got stigmatized to a certain degree.
I think so.
Do you mean it was the same with the...
One of them, the blonde guy, he does some fantastic voice work in cartoons. Still does, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Oh, Duff McKagan? Yes.
Are you... What the fuck are you talking... No, are you
talking
about Duff McKagan?
Sharknado guy?
Yes, Sharknado guy.
Yeah. Duff
Yeah.
McKagan. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's not
He
Duff
looks
McKagan.
like Duff McKagan. I
No,
knew he
he-
wasn't Duff McKagan.
no,
I'm not
he-
retarded.
No, he
Dude,
fucking...
no.
Bro, what sort of narcotics are you taking? He does not...
Probably the same as Duff McKagan.
Well, from
In the 80s.
from literal ability to testify to this, that's untrue. Sorry, I'm not going to get into it on air. But were you taking? you're aware what Duff was taking in the 80s, right?
Yes, I know.
yeah,
They're my favorite band. I know everything
You don't
about
even know
them.
he knew what he was taking back in at that time period.
He was more of an alcohol guy more than he was a drug guy. But
Oh no,
No.
I won't even get it. You know what, man? I'm not even going to get into it.
Don't think about.
I'm just going to tell you, man, I love you, and I believe in your ability to fucking do lots of things, but there's no way you've done what Duff done. It doesn't happen, unless you're two other very more notably named members of the band, where I'll be like, okay, they've definitely done more than Duff's done.
yes,
Anyway.
I'm aware. I'll actually take this one.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool.
It's weird that me and Chris are the ones that keep it on track.
Can I just please say, for the love of God, please don't leave me with don't listen to take. I'm just going to put that out there.
I'll do that. I'll do that one.
Okay.
Okay, because I took shit out of that one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, because it's just I literally watched the movie 1.5 times. Once in Spanish, once with an English dub and once with Spanish and subs, and half a time with Spanish and subs. And I know what happened in the movie. It just doesn't seem to be stuck in my head. Don't know why.
I swear to God, Phil has some awesome multitasking.
By the way,
skills there.
Katie, you can do 2 things at the same time with that cold hot water bottle. Fill it with a cocktail. Oh my God, that's a fucking awesome idea.
Right? Multitasking level.
Very good. Anyway, Buzz is taking away Don't Blink, I Do Believe. Go.
Yes. So Don't Blink follows a group of 10 friends who go to a cabin that is off in the middle of nowhere. There's not a gas station or anything to be seen within hundreds of miles. So no people pretty much. There's also, I think there's multiple cabins in the area, but other than that,
It's
there's
kind of
nothing
a
for,
resort-ish.
yeah. So they all
Actually-
finally,
I think where they stop is on the way to where they were going. It was just the last place they could get petrol for like 300 miles or something.
No, I think that's
No,
where they were supposed to. That was their.
Yeah, 'cause
that was their
it's-
destination.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Sorry.
And which was actually well timed. They're like, we're the last stop in the middle of fucking nowhere. We're going to bring some fucking gas tanks to these people.
that's the funny thing, because they're all talking about like, oh no, we're going to run out of gas. I'm like, well, you're still not going to have gas when you leave. But then we find out they've got the tanks or
But,
the pumps there.
Buzz, give us the quick. Give us
that's a
the quick
good
synopsis
business.
of the movie so we can start talking.
Okay. I can do that. 10 friends meet up at a
No,
cabin.
I don't mean like rush it quick, but do you know what I mean? Do your synopsis so we can start
Well,
talking.
I could get through it a lot faster if I was not interrupted multiple times.
Yeah, stop
So-
interrupting him, man. Jesus.
So, 10 friends.
That's how many times
it
I
directing-
interrupted him.
I wasn't directing it to you, just you. I mean, you
I know,
are.
and I'm just clarifying. And I
Okay.
wasn't directing that to you either.
Who's
Oh.
that? To me?
Well,
Are you giving me
used
fingers?
to it being directed towards me.
I'll eat that goddamn finger like
I
it's
see
a
a middle
sandwich.
finger. I just assume it's directed towards me. So yeah, 10 friends meet up at this resort. Nothing to be seen for miles. Nobody seems to be there. They've made reservations to this place, so people are expecting them to be there, but nobody's there to be seen. They walk in. It looks like there's food set out. Pretty much, it looks like everybody just vanished. Like it looked like people were there, and next thing they weren't. Even the animals are gone. There's weird, global warming going on. I think I don't know. They're talking about snow and not having. I forgot what was.
Nope. There was a circle. Everywhere in that circle was extremely hot. When they walked out, the lake was frozen over.
Yeah, I knew there was something to do with weather shenanigans. Ooh,
There was climatic differentials that didn't add up.
There you go.
Actually, I'll tell you what it really was when you finish your synopsis because it's hilarious.
Okay. So we find out Zach Ward is the one who's like, oh, God, craziness is happening. We need to get the fuck out. But they can't get the fuck out because, like I said, no gas. Pretty much between all 3 or 4 cars that they have, there's probably a half a tank of gas between the 4 cars. And they can't find a key to get into the gas tanks that are there to, fill up. So nobody really can get out. And then people just start randomly just disappearing. Like literally out of like 1 minute they're here, you turn, the next minute they're gone.
The first person they lose is standing behind everybody.
Exactly.
And there's all right, let's go take a look. Where's Buzz? Literally just ghost out of nowhere.
So we tend to go, okay, this person goes missing. Oh, where'd they go? They go look. We have groups, splitting apart to go try to find people. We find other cabins, like I was saying, resort type thing. One of them had a cool sleeping noose. There was a sleeping noose hanging there. We can just go take a hangle dangle if you're getting tired.
Hangle dangle. I love it.
Hangle dangle.
What a way to trivialize something that's pretty harsh.
You know what? We're upbeat.
It took me a second to figure out where he was too.
Or you could have said, it was a dancing rope if you wanted to do a little Tiber and Jake.
There you go.
I feel like both are applicable though.
So as things happening, more and more of the group are disappearing, and as that's happening, more and more paranoia and not knowing what the fuck is going on happens. And that's pretty much it. People just start disappearing. And we're like, oh, where'd this person go? We don't know. Where'd this person go? We don't know. Movie ends.
I'm going to say before I say what my next sentence is that I did actually, bar what I'm about to say, really enjoy this movie.
Oh, I did the shit out of this
movie.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this. But the people disappearing, I'm going to say is verging on a level of just willy-nilly. There's no...
Yeah.
There's a rough...
a
rough kind of idea as to what you're not supposed to do to disappear. But that is very wavering depending on what the shot is.
But I thought about that though, man. We get the idea that it's light of sight, but and while yes, that does seem to be the gist.
I would go as far to say is that's what they're getting at.
Right, but we never see what the evil is or the horror is though. So we're only building these rules off what we expect. I mean, we even have a guy that disappeared come back.
Here's the thing, and this is where I was
they make a big deal about that.
Here's the thing, and this is where I was like, all right, they obviously don't know what way these fucking rules are going. Was the girl who I previously mentioned that goes kind of fucking Bible bashing after a couple of people up and disappear on her. She's standing by the fridge, right? So she's standing by the fridge. People are interacting with her and talking to her. Fridge door opens, and for a brief moment, nobody's looking at her. And then you close the fridge door, and poof, she's gone.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yes. And don't get me wrong, cinematically, that looked dope as fuck. It was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm just saying,
then,
though.
really quickly afterwards, some stuff happens, and some people go to try and leg it out of the house, right? So those two
Right.
people are legging it out of the house. Then the guy from Beverly Hills 90210 and the kind of the brainiac lady in the group.
Micah, Joanne Kelly.
Yes.
She's Micah from Warehouse 13.
Dude, and it was cool because I hadn't seen her in anything since Warehouse 13.
They go
Seen her in a
out.
couple of bits.
They go out chasing after the couple that are just after trying to get in a car and bugger off, right? So the guy from, first of all, I can kind of buy when the couple were driving away how one of them disappeared, because it's kind of like they were having an argument because a whole shenanigans thing happened and they were having an argument. So I could get one guy's driving with his eyes intently on the road and she's all upset looking back this way. Poof, he's gone. Right? I get that. That fits into the rules of conduct, shall we say. But then, why didn't that lady in the car disappear?
Because
But that's
it's
what I'm
pushing
saying,
buttons. Hang on.
Yeah,
You're
but-
forgetting there's an intelligence behind it. And if we can 1 second imagine that this intelligence likes what it's doing, then every single person
we
that
go.
disappears when they
Right.
disappear
Okay.
is done to heighten tension
Yes,
and
but-
heighten fear.
My issue was that there's no indication towards this thing's actual modus
Right.
operandi. Do you get me?
And
it-
that's
That's
actually
what
kind of
makes
part of the
that
story,
so twisted.
or the point of the
Right.
story.
I-
Um,
yeah, but you see, I look, I don't
Actually-
disagree with you. I do agree. Like, it does make it more twisted and stuff like that. But like, if you're making a movie, there needs to be a way stuff for people outside of the actual incident in the movie happening. There needs to be a way for people to be able to gauge what's happening and whatnot, and the way the thing behaves is very much like, say, as at the
That's
at
what
the,
makes that fear even greater, though.
Yeah, but-
because like if I'm being hunted by Jason, I just have to hope to God I don't get tired while I'm running for my life.
Yeah,
like this is that unknown.
Yes, but the
like
thing-
No,
the thing-
there's kind of a pattern.
there is a pattern. This is what I'm talking about. There is a pattern until there isn't a pattern, depending on what the shot is.
No, the whole way through there's the same pattern.
Really?
Every time someone goes,
Okay.
the person who goes and when they go is designed to get a reaction, to intensify a reaction from the remaining people. It's not just about making people disappear. It's about enjoying
knows
the
what I'm laughing
fear.
at.
And
Sorry.
it's about enjoying the fear and enjoying the tension and the paranoia that runs rampant. The first person who disappears is completely out of nowhere. And when you look at the group dynamic, she is the alpha female. The next person who
yes,
disappears,
technically, yeah.
The next person who disappears is the person who, from the very beginning, you are suspecting of being part of it. So by taking him out of the equation, once again, it's like, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah,
You
see, here's the thing. It's okay rationalizing all of that down to this is the way the whatever it is, because there's no actual explanation as to whatever we're dealing with is. It's all well and good saying, oh, well, this is obviously whatever and how it works, right? But this is what I've said to you about stuff before. There's when you're trying to do an actual story, don't get me wrong, there should be a little bit of filling in the blanks, but there should be a clarification to the filling in the blanks if you're doing a proper story at the end of it. And a lot of it, don't get me wrong, I don't disagree with you that if you really rope it together, there is a kind of a it's just fucking with the people kind of vibe kind of thing. But when you don't have any other clarification as to how your big bad or whatever you want to call it is functioning within the story, it's very hard to just buy into it.
The one that you really had a problem with, the guy in the car,
No,
that was when I figured,
no, sorry, that's not the one.
That was the one that helped me figure it out properly.
No, that's not the only one I had a problem with. That was just that particular example I decided to pick. Because there's technically two of them back to back within the one shot. Or scene, should I say so.
That person, he was about to leave. The chick, she wasn't. She was on the verge of breaking. By doing
Carter is like quite sorry. Carter, I have to interrupt you for a moment.
But yeah,
Carter. Okay, Bill, I'm going to have to. I got some shocking news for you, Giz. I know you're very pissed off that I interrupted you, but Bill literally just said Carter is like the white Snoop Dogg. Right. So I've got some shocking news for you, Bill. Do you want to give him the shocking news, Carter, or will I give him the shocking news?
Oh, I'll let you go.
Okay. You know Carter's black, right? So Carter's like the black Snoop Dogg, which just makes Carter the GoreCast Snoop Dogg. Yeah. It's not like just I know this might blow your mind. This isn't Hollywood cinematics. This isn't me doing some fucking crazy shenanigans and doing some twiggly things with the buttons. Carter's straight up black. I just green screened out his green screen. That's it. That's what Carter looks like. I didn't color him weird or anything. I didn't color him different. That's what Carter looks like. Carter's black. So just to let you know, if Carter's any form of Snoop Dogg, he's the black Snoop Dogg. So you're going to have to just work with the GoreCast clarification to differentiate the two.
Then, yeah, let us reconfirm, Bill. It may not look like it on your screen, but yes, I am the black.
Here's the weird thing, because I'm the one that controls the screen. I don't know how it doesn't look like it on his screen. That's why I was like, I need to clarify this really quickly. Anyway, what were you saying?
Get your screen fixed.
Oh, just that there's a pattern and there's a reason for when everyone goes. And like I was saying, the incident with the car is the one that summed it up. Because you're taking away the person who's actively trying to leave, while at the same time leaving behind somebody so traumatized that they are no longer a factor and adding to the general tension of everyone else.
But unfortunately, that scene is a double barrel, because while the guy from Beverly Hills 90210 is running out to the car, and the girl who's Joanna in the movie, am I correct? While she's
Kelly,
while she's running out behind him, I get that she is looking at him, but he is not looking at her. So why didn't she go poof? And why does she mysteriously just seem to be left alone by the end of?
That's
by the end of the movie?
Like I didn't see a rhyme or reason for it, or a pattern, and that's why I liked the movie even more. I'm a big fan of the where tribes have just up and disappeared with like food on the stove.
Yeah,
and all like those. That's one of my biggest. Like, I dig the shit out of those stories.
Yes,
and that's why I dug. There's no reason why they did. They're gone.
I won't lie to you. If at the end of the movie, instead of the lady putting her head into her lap and looking up and everyone missing, and then her having the weird conversation with herself about I better not look at myself in the mirror, if she had just put her head in her lap and then there was some shot where it just cut to outside of the car and everyone was gone, and then it cut to the inside of the car and she was gone, I'd have been like,
oh yeah,
okay.
I have a quick question though.
What?
Oh, go on. Sorry.
So, we're not really getting into this that much, are we? Is this?
Well, I pretty much described the end of the movie there, so I feel.
Okay, so.
No, it's
it's 2014, isn't it? Yeah.
Did I miss anything, or did they actually explain what the fuck was going on, or did it? No.
Well, no. Their explanation of what was going on was merely their assumption as to what was happening by what they were able to.
That's why I don't like this movie, because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I get no resolution of what was going on.
You know what? I tell you what.
That's why I didn't like this
movie. I can explain something to you, Buzz. I can explain something to you. Yes, I can. I can explain it to you properly, and it is something that is a mystery that's even brought up in the film itself, and that is the snow.
The snow?
What? Actually, do that for me, though, because I was curious.
Do you want to know what that was? That was Mother Nature fucking with them, because there was no snow. It actually snowed when they were filming, so they worked it into the script.
Oh shit!
Ready Set Game, welcome to the chat. How are you? Sorry, I didn't get to say hi there a second ago. Sorry.
I was gonna make a joke because I thought you were gonna say it was in a comic book, but then I didn't want to make that joke.
Sorry.
I totally take Adrian Brody.
I'm gonna have to say something right here, right? Okay, cool. They worked the snow into the script because they hadn't planned to snow, right? But if it hadn't planned to snow, that element wouldn't even be in the fucking movie. So outside of the fact that it just happened to coincidentally snow while they were there, which, don't get me wrong, added a whole kind of extra layer, because you were like, oh fuck, this thing's able to actually literally affect its general surroundings, not just disappear as shit.
I will say, though, towards the end, it did seem like they knew something was going on
But
because they flooded that area and they were like grab and go, grab and go. Like
Yes.
they seemed like
No,
they
but-
were on a
but
mission.
Hang on. They were on a mission. Don't get me wrong, but by the end of the movie, the lady surviving throws the whole thing a kilter, in my
it
opinion,
does.
because it's like,
Yeah.
why the fuck is she the only one that survives? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
As I said, if all the
She
cops
came for
showed up and all the cops disappeared, and then they cut back into the car and she was gone, I'd be like, oh, okay, it was just. I'd even be down with what Giz was saying about it's like, okay,
Because
it's
she was the only one that wanted peace and quiet.
huh.
I didn't really see the piece.
See, Reddy says
Right?
that
No.
she's not gonna lie that she actually liked the open ending, that they left it open ending. Me and her sometimes we butt heads when it comes to movies. So
Huh.
She was the only one going up there for a bit of peace and quiet.
Yeah.
And that's
That was literally
True.
her
Yeah,
entire.
right.
Huh.
Like it was like put in like almost every other line. Oh, we just want to party. I'm just here for the quiet. So that's true. Like she did keep
she
saying
wanted
that.
to breed.
Huh.
I'm not going to lie. While watching the film, the very first thing that caught my attention was, you're in the middle of the woods, there's no sound, we need to leave.
Yeah, but like that's correct, dude. Outside of the no sound, which I was, look, I won't lie to you. I, as I said yet again, I actually, outside of my couple of little gripes with the way
Zach Ward
that,
is our fucking spirit animal in this, man.
yeah, outside of that, man, as has been documented, and Giz, and actually everyone on the podcast, we're fucking big Zach Ward fans. We love him, and
Oh yeah.
I won't lie to you. Even when he's in the lower budget movies, they're usually good lower budget movies. Do you know what I mean? I like the storyline and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like Bethany. Do you know what I mean? Wasn't the highest budget movie, but
Bethany was-
it fucking fucks with your head a
Can I
little
just
bit.
say, the line "cavalcade of chaos," oh, fucking
Great.
brilliant.
It was
And
great.
he actually produced this, I think, wasn't he? He was one of the producers, from what I.
The writer of the film is a buddy of his, so his role
Okay.
was actually written for him.
Roshi, welcome to the chat, dude. How are you?
Orochi, are we getting on, man?
Yeah. He was produced by Zach Ward and a couple other people.
Yeah. So, Zach Ward is normally the good guy or the funny guy, and I really enjoyed badass Zach
this
Ward
kid-
in this.
Yes.
I enjoyed the fact that he like I said, his entire everything that he was doing. If I was in his position, I would be the same.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps not as over the top, but then again, it's me, so
Right.
perhaps more so.
I don't know if you and I can actually definitely 100% hands down be like, it won't be that way. Do you know what I mean?
The very second
I
he
can
realized
guarantee
there's
you
no-
I wouldn't have lost my fucking gun, though. I'll tell you that straight out.
I wouldn't have had a gun. I prefer not. Anyway, point is, the very first thing that he said was, "This place is fucked up, and we need to fucking leave."
Yeah.
I love that. I prefer knives.
But
All
I
right,
like-
dude. Best of luck with that. Cool.
But I liked the argument that Green brought.
Knives
though.
don't kill
Nope.
people by accident.
What? Bullets don't kill... Dude, knives can kill people by accident. That's
It's a
the
lot
thing.
harder.
Not really. It takes...
Have you met society?
Don't
I mean,
get me wrong. I'm aware that there's been some bullet accidents and stuff, but if people handle their guns properly, it takes a bit of effort
Right.
to fucking accidentally shoot someone in the fucking
Have
head
you,
with a bullet.
have you ever made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich drunk? It is dangerous, and you can accidentally kill yourself.
They are
with a knife.
literally three things that Giz doesn't eat.
He does or doesn't?
Does not, hands down,
Oh.
wholeheartedly. It's not a thing. Peanut butter,
Oh.
jelly, and sandwiches. No.
Just briefly,
Phil,
that is how we learn.
Giz, the amount of
I was gonna say,
times
like, so
you-
far, the recent thing
Okay.
I've learned is don't try to take my contacts out while I'm
And
drunk.
the amount of times that happened can be counted on one hand.
It's okay.
No, but you know what though? I did like the argument between Zach Ward and Brian Austin Green, because Zach's like, dude, fuck this, we just need to buck out. But I did kind of see both sides of that. Like Brian was like, dude, we don't know where the fuck this started. Did it move ahead of us? So now we're just like, we could be leading into it.
Well,
And if we run
the
out
other,
of gas, we're all
The other
Sorry.
glaring issue, speaking of the running out of gas, is that they'd all pretty much drained their tanks getting up to said
'cause
location.
Like I said, between all of them, they said they had like maybe a half a tank of gas between like 4 vehicles.
Yeah, and that was even with draining some. I'll tell you, with mentioning the way it is, the survival instincts of people in this movie are questionable to
yeah.
say the least. Because as Giz said, when which I would wholeheartedly agree with, which is a lesser noticeable but equally prevalent reason to be twitchy about what was going on in the first place was
no animal life.
No animal life.
Right.
Completely in the middle of these woods, and like not a tweet,
Why
not a
can't I hear
fucking
birds?
not a cricket,
Right
nothing.
Zach Gold's fucking line right there was fucking priceless. Dude, even the fucking animals know to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm smarter than a fucking animal.
But what bugged me was they got down
Like-
to the petrol station where they were supposed to be able to fill up the fuel. Obviously, there's a key that's needed to fill up these fuel tanks, so they're not able to use it because everyone's not where they're supposed to be or there. But it took them ages, even while wandering in and out of other people's random cars, to kind of sit back and take stock and be like, you know what?
Right.
There's a
I think
lot
there's
of
something
cars.
very much wrong here.
You know, there's a lot of cars parked here. It like
for
a
a place that seems to be
lot
empty.
of cars parked here.
That's the thing.
It was-
Like, I thought they
It
did a
was
really
the
good
food
job
that
of, like,
was not eaten on the tables. It was kind of like, that's that's not
The
a good
one
sign.
that one chick made a big deal of like, the lady left her purse here. Ladies don't leave their purses. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Also, 20 people
was
don't
when
not
I woke
finish
up-
breakfast
right.
together. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I can understand that someone who's been drinking a little bit too much the night before, or they just don't have the biggest appetite in the morning, might leave a little bit of breakfast, but every goddamn... Hello, whiskey. Speaking of breakfast, I love you.
That right there should be it.
Yes,
Yeah,
if there,
that's going
if
in.
there was
Oh,
ever
I
a
make my
clip for
job
next
so
week's
easy
trailer,
today.
that's definitely it. But
Ugh.
yeah, anyway, as I was saying, one person who's been drinking a bit too much the night before, or isn't the most peckish in the morning or whatever, leaving their breakfast, even 2 or 3 out of a general restaurant scenario, I can buy. But the entire 30 people or whatever that was sitting in a
Right.
restaurant, that doesn't happen. Some fucker's
Oh,
been
yeah.
like, I haven't eaten in 2 days and I'm shoveling this goddamn breakfast down my fucking fuckhole as fast as possible.
Oh, kids just
I feel
gave
left
in.
out.
I see that.
Oh,
no,
Giz is on the fire water. Let's get it on. It's Thursday night. Let's get it on.
Who's
It's
gonna take the
Thursday
shirt
night.
off first?
Let's get it on. It's Thursday night.
know,
It's kind of disturbing how he drinks it.
But
Are
honestly,
you
I
coming
think
or
that's-
something or what? What sort of orgasm in a canteen are you drinking? I know what
Take
it
a
is.
deep breath. No, you take a deep breath in as deep as you can, and hopefully set your lungs on fire a little bit.
Oxygen.
I see. I dribbled on myself.
Oh, go you.
That was embarrassing. Sorry. Thank God my microphone covered that up.
If I do it,
Thank you for making my job so easy this week. I don't even have to go like.
Yeah.
I only have to go like 10 minutes into the episode.
I
and
thought
I'm
seeing as it was your first Thursday where you were going to have to grab clips, I was like, maybe I'll just be shit-faced to make it easy. In
Do
my
that every
sorry,
Thursday.
just to clarify, in my defense, the dribble wasn't from like it not getting in my mouth; it's from my mustache being rather bushly, as
yeah.
Ron Burgundy would say.
No,
Well,
that's
you
totally
take the
what
deep
it's
breath
called.
in through your mouth so that you actually feel it hitting your lungs, not your nose, dude.
Yeah, I did, but as been humanly clarified before, I'm relatively immune to whiskey at this stage.
No, Johnny, I wasn't talking to you. Bill was trying to be a smart arse.
All right, so I'm
There
going
we
to
go.
say somehow as the
That was well timed.
responsible one, don't blink. How about we wrap up and move on?
Don't
to
blink,
the
Yeah.
movie?
guys.
Yeah.
I'm actually okay. Who's going first? Before I go, I'm actually there's
Okay.
the easiest.
I'll
Four
go
or
first,
five, right?
Sober to do
I'm gonna
this
give it. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5, mainly because I see Don't Blink as being a movie like Twilight Zone episode.
Yes, totally agree. Sorry, just to interrupt you for 1 second before you finish that sentence. Are you not drinking, Carter?
Oh, I'm drinking. Apparently not fast enough though.
Drink faster. Sorry,
Dude,
I
I'm only
when,
after taking one. I'm only after taking one.
yeah,
glass of
yes,
whiskey.
but I look.
Okay,
I
no,
do.
but
I
you
do the
think
show
it was
sober
like-
like 99% of the year,
sober-
right? You do
sober-
the show kind of 50-50 depending on the week. Those two have like systematically been pretty much sauced, bar those times where Buzz has been like, "I hate drinking and it's not going to happen anymore," and then he realizes that that's bullshit and he continues on drinking.
That was Tuesday, and then I was like, "Nah, I'm drinking anyway."
Dude, you were so
I like
fucking
to feel like
hungover after that one time you were drinking. I was like, I think Buzz is actually done drinking. I hear people, like, I'm from Ireland. I hear people say that every goddamn day of the week. But I was like, if I've ever heard a man go,
in my
I'm
life
done.
ever said that.
Yeah. Oh, you have, but you've never meant it.
No, I've never said it because I would never mean it if I said it. The most I've ever said is I am not drinking until the next time I drink. That is the furthest I've got.
I've definitely never said it because in my entire life, I've only ever had 2 hangovers, and I think one of them was only a year and a half ago.
I say about you.
Two times that I've been.
Every time I've had a hangover, you've been involved. I think
I once wanted to decapitate myself
I actually woke
from a
up after
hangover
Joe's
with
wedding.
wine.
I was like, fuck, I think I'm actually hungover.
Wine gave me a hangover so bad, I actually thought about decapitating myself.
I genuinely,
Okay.
wine.
Wine'll fuck kill my head, dude.
Admittedly, I've given myself alcohol poisoning a couple of times or come close to it, but that's a different thing.
Just to clarify, I declare a proper hangover where it's like I'm not functional. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you need to lie on the need to lie on the bathroom floor or the kitchen or something because it's nice and cold?
That would probably, or something of that nature would probably be involved. But I would also say, like, I've had a bumping headache after drinking red wine. I actually stopped drinking red wine because I got such a bad headache. But I still don't declare that a hangover because I was like in work and very functional. It was just I had a bumping headache while I was doing it. I wasn't so like everything else was fine, but the fact I had a bumping headache. Do you get me? I didn't feel dehydrated. I didn't feel shitty or anything. It was just I had a bumping headache.
Oh yeah, no, that's because like I'm usually dehydrated, so it's more of just the headache.
Yeah, like I honestly don't. And my fiance is sitting right beside me. I don't drink water.
No.
Like my water intake involves milk and coffee in it. And if anyone tries to argue with me, I'm like, hey, it's 1 spoon of coffee, it's 2 spoons of sugar, and a splash of milk, and 95% water. So if anyone tries to,
I don't understand why people want to argue that. You have to literally use water to make fucking coffee.
Yeah, it's like fucking Kool-Aid and fucking Ribena and everything. It's just purple water, assholes. It's 90. Don't get me wrong. I know it's no longer a purity and it's now a solution. But 95% of that solution
of water
is H2O, motherfucker.
Just briefly, we're an hour in and still on the first film.
Perfect. It's Thursday. You just took your first sip of a drink, Giz. Don't even complain.
All right, so
okay.
Giz gave it a 3 for Don't Blink.
Giz gave it a 3. Okay, I'll let you guys do
Johnny
your thing.
Gave it a rant about water and hangovers.
Sorry, but look, the water rant had literally, and the hangover rant had nothing to do with the movie.
Oh,
I'm just glad that I'm start saying.
I would actually say I would genuinely give it a 3.5 out of 5 from me.
I give it a 2.
I literally loved everything about the movie, bar some of the plot holes about how the whatever it is, some of the plot holes about what the whatever it is functioned, and the fact that the whatever it is never got kind of any form of clarification. Wrecked my fucking tits.
That's kind of where I'm at too. But then Giz said the snow did it, so
no,
I didn't.
No,
that's not what I said at all.
Giz was merely
that's
dropping.
what I took from it.
Giz was merely dropping some knowledge because Giz
learn how to listen to what people say because you're hearing things wrong, and I worry about you.
Giz was merely dropping some knowledge because Giz reads stuff about the fact that they had worked the whole snow into the script or the shoot due to the fact that it just snowed like balls for 3 days while they were there. Am I correct?
I feel
I don't know
better
about the
because
3 days, but it certainly did just snow out of nowhere.
Yes. Okay. Fine.
I'm going with mine.
The reason I said 3 days was because that snows in the movie a good bit once it snows.
Yeah.
Was the only reason I mentioned it.
Oh,
yeah, Buzz.
They kind of stuck that shit.
Okay, so who's left to vote?
Carter.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I dig the shit out of this movie. Like I dig all of it. Even though I don't really care for the ending, I still dig the overall, like everybody just up and disappearing. So I'm going with 4.
I liked the up and disappearing. I was just kind of like, I think she should have disappeared as well.
again, like I'm not really sold on the ending aspect of it, but up till then, like I said though, that whole like just people ghosting like that,
Hey,
it's one of my big fucking
before
digs.
before we move on to the next movie, can I throw you a quick pitch for the ending?
I still like your ending where like everybody ghosted and she kind of like
Yes, I won't lie to you. It's pretty much that ending, but with a little bit extra. So,
as I said, I'm happy with the notion that she was the only one that wanted a bit of peace and quiet. Now she has it.
I won't lie to you.
But,
that
okay,
blew my mind,
and
and I was kind of like, "Oh fuck, that actually is." You know what?
Oh.
I didn't even. I won't lie to you. That actually makes a lot, because it makes a lot of sense when they're sitting in the bathroom herself and the guy from Beverly Hills 90210, and they both fall asleep, and it picks him instead
Right.
of her. I won't lie to you. I love the fact that you had that revelation on air, because I could literally see your brain go, "Hey." It's literally on camera if Buzz decides to find it as a clip. It's literally like I could literally see the click happen. Changed my whole view on it as well. I was like, fucking hell, that actually does make
that
sense.
shit blew my mind. I
Yeah.
didn't even think of that.
But
And like you think back to it, she says it a lot.
my pitch for the impactful ending is, right, so cops all show up. Your one gets brought out and she's having her little hissy fit or whatever. She gets put in the back of the car. She puts her head in her lap. Everyone goes. Also, love the fact, by the way, your man from Star Trek Voyager was in there. By
Ricardo?
the way, yeah.
He's great.
Love
As
it.
a Man in Black.
Yeah.
I never blinked.
And I love
He-
his
Such
I
a
don't think.
good pick for a Man in Black. That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
But anyway, she puts her head in her lap. Boop. Everyone's gone. Then boop. She's gone. And then you just see this other couple of people drive up the road ready for their holiday.
Oh. Okay.
Then it cuts
Okay.
to black.
I'll be honest,
Okay.
I actually didn't think she was getting out. I thought it was going to end with her disappearing and the law arriving on, and that would be the start of the next batch.
No, I did really appreciate the fact that happened arseways around, where it was like the law showed up and then also disappeared. I was like, that bugged me though, because I was like, are you telling me out of that there was easily 30 cops there, right? Are you telling me out of the 30 cops that are there that nobody out of those 30 people was looking at somebody else out of those 30 people at any period in that second and a half? I find it hard to believe.
Oh yeah, right.
It really liked her. She wasn't
and
looking at any of them.
Okay, we've got two Giz having a Rain Man moments on the stream tonight.
Yeah.
Very happy.
I'm liking both. I just
Also, by the way, Giz, when you were
still-
saying we're nearly an hour into the movie, there was 20 to 25 minutes of us with the stream starting thing going on. Just to let you know.
I still go with the snow. The snow did it.
Johnny, this mic has too many buttons and settings. Roshi, I can, if you're around tomorrow, I can give you a hand with your new microphone. I know how the Blue Yeti does its work. It's just I don't show up early.
oh, Giz, you're fucking killing me, dude. Like now all of a sudden I'm like completely rethinking this fucking movie and I'm loving it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I won't lie to you. The whole she was the only one that wanted some peace and quiet. Yeah. Nice. I
Okay,
like
I'm changing mine to a 4.
it. Yes, Bill. Obviously, early means before 4 p.m. and after 2 p.m. So 3 p.m. would be great. If you show up at 3 p.m., I should be okay. Is what I'm saying, Roji.
All right. So, Johnny.
Yeah.
Math
Just so
time.
you know,
I said
I'm changing mine to a 4.
Giz changed his to a
So
4.
3.
I had said 3.5. I may now also go 4 because I won't lie to you. Though it was never really kind of brought to light within the movie, that makes a lot of sense. And I normally give out about you fucking fantasy book and shit with the movies where I'm like, yes, if they had done all of the really cool shit that you made up in your brain in the movie, I'd be like, that's a great movie. But that one little thing was that's what I'm saying. That one little thing was very subtly nodded to throughout the movie. Like literally it was one of the last things she said to your man from Beverly Hills 90210. So
Is that how he's billed on the starring thing? Man from Beverly Hills 90210.
No, because he
no,
was
sorry.
also in Terminator, the Sarah Connor
Yes,
person.
and sorry, in
He
my,
was one of the
in my
Reese
defense,
boys.
he's not man from Beverly Hills 90210. He was one of the main fucking dudes from Beverly Hills 90210. He always
Not
used
really
to
like
get.
the
he,
main.
he was one of the main guys. He was dating what's her face, who was in Scary Movie, whose name I can't remember.
Girl from Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah, girl from Beverly Hills 90210. I have his name here right in front of me. I can say it, but it's a case of other people don't have his name right in front of them, and dude from Beverly Hills 90210, I feel is going to ring home with people a lot more. Goddamn hiccups.
Okay.
Anyway, Buzz, what's your star rating?
I gave it a 2. I still give it a 2. I'm not. I don't change my thoughts. When I give it a grade, keep my grade, and I do not
Carter.
waver.
Carter, since you're actually able to appreciate intelligence.
3 4s and a 2.5 or a 2.
3 4s and a 2.
John's
That's
leaning off
12,
to
14.
No, I was knocking
divided
myself
by
out from
4.
nostril restrictions.
Uh-huh.
No, you missed me pitching my nose because I was
know.
behind the mic.
You fucked up the average, Buzz. It's 3.5.
I'm
Good.
sorry, I was making you then. I thought you
Don't
were
make
leaning
the
off
snow your killer.
Giz,
and then
did
I'll
you
like it more.
did you thankfully do the actual average for me? I love you. Thank you. I
Buzz
appreciate
fucked
that.
it all up by giving the film a 2.
Again,
And he-
don't make the snow the villain of your movie, and I will like it more.
Sorry,
The
they
snow
never
wasn't
made the
villain of
snow the
movie, you
villain of the movie.
goddamn Muppet.
If
Like, the
anything,
snow was just-
if anything, the only element that was brought in by the snow happening was the fact that whatever the fuck they're dealing with, yet again, not to be disclosed because it wasn't disclosed. The only
It's a red herring.
yeah, it's
Right.
literally it's just whatever the fucking thingamajig that they're dealing with is able to affect the fucking weather system. That's it.
This is when I can go. My job accomplished.
What? Because you fucked up the ratio or the average?
No,
Sorry.
well, you guys are all yelling at me, and that's funny.
This is not yelling. No. This is
Sorry,
not yelling.
Giz, what number? What? I normally don't do this, but I've got the power of whiskey in me, so I'm letting it happen. What number do you need for it to work out to an average rating? An easy average rating? 3?
Yeah, 3 would do.
Buzz said 3.
What's wrong with 70%? Like what Bill said. 70%, it's a C.
Because we don't go in percentages. We go in averages, and if you throw the 2 in, it throws the entire average askew. It means people need to actually.
For everybody.
None of us are
There we
idiots,
go.
but it means that someone's going to have to get a pencil and paper and actually work out the fucking math of it. And I don't have time for that. We have another movie to get on to. We're an hour into the show.
2 more movies.
Here's the trailer for fucking Don't Blink. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes.
Oh,
Hello. Thank God. My name is Claire Holstead. I'm at the Mountain Brook. There's been a horrible accident.
You fill it back in Preston, you'll have just enough gas to make it up to the resort. There's only one road in and nothing else for miles.
Man, these things are ancient. And broken, apparently. Hello?
Hello?
You know what? I think we're all alone up here.
Jeez, is that a gun? Okay, we obviously have a situation here.
Jack, come here. Baby, what happened here?
coming up, and we're back. We were having a discussion about how I poured a really good pint of beer, and then Carter disagreed because Americans don't do head beer. They don't. It's the weird thing because it's like the English are like all fucking head, and the Americans are either.
That's what she said.
Buzz, you've never been to England. Is rightfully true. It's then the Americans, depending on what TV show you watch, are either way too much head or no head at all on your beer. You need a little bit of head.
See,
you always need a little bit of head.
Ain't that fucking true?
Brian Austin Green. Brian Austin Green is the name. Yes, that is the guy from Beverly Hills 90210. He wasn't the Red Ranger. I'm assuming that's what Bill's talking about. Yeah.
But no, after you explain it,
don't get into Power Rangers trivia with me. I will look like a total dork.
Never done tap.
Power Rangers and He-Man, they're the two things. Also, by the way, that trailer for the new He-Man on Netflix dropped. Did anybody see it? It's fucking amazing.
No.
It's
the one done by Kevin Smith.
It's fucking amazing. It literally smells of 80s. Like, I cannot describe how much it was just like, oh my God, it's just like old school He-Man, but beefier.
What? 80s, dude.
Ronald Reagan. Don't sully the name of He-Man with Ronald Reagan, you asshole.
You said 80s. That was doing a lot of coke and voting for Ronald Reagan.
Yo, there's way better things from the 80s than fucking Ronald Reagan. What are you talking about?
Like me.
I'm from the 80s as well. I wouldn't even claim to be better than He-Man. What the fuck are you talking about, Giz? Sorry.
You said way better things than Ronald Reagan.
Oh, I'm definitely better than Ronald Reagan. He's an asshole.
See?
Good actor, though. Good actor. Good actor.
And Jason Lee Scott was the name of the Red Ranger, just to put that out there.
Yes. Well, sorry, number one.
I never actually watched
it. Depends on what. It depends on what Red Ranger you're talking about.
The original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Red Ranger.
It is in fact Jason Lee Scott. You're correct. Yes.
I'm assuming that's what he was because they had 3 names. I'm sure that's probably who he was.
It depends on what Tommy.
Oh, that guy's awesome.
Do you know what?
Jason David Frank.
Yes.
Oh, dude, he's boss.
He will kick your ass for real.
So can Red Ranger guy.
I'm pretty sure they all kick my ass.
They all had some martial arts background, but Jason Lee Franks. I keep going Power Ranger character.
Here's the thing. If you actually did that in real life and he was standing in front of you, he probably wouldn't even blink or bat an eyelid. He'd just like accept it.
Yes, and he'd be like, do you know what? That's an Uber fan where he keeps calling me Tommy instead of Jason, and I love that. And I think he'd also appreciate the fact that he was like, I just watched that guy's got a whole load of whiskey and a whole load of beer in front of me, and he's even remembering both of my names, so I'm going to take it as a compliment. And Tommy / Jason, just to clarify, please don't kick my face off. I literally love you. I love you. I won't lie to you. It's at a stage that I can actually do the Green Ranger, fucking the whole,
I wanted to do that. Like, I wanted that to be my job. I wanted to like blow into the Dragon Sword thing.
I won't lie to you. You missed a very fine career in Hollywood. You'd have got Buzz. You'd have gone places. Like. You would have been so.
But you would have gotten there.
All I want to do is blow stuff and make movies. Okay,
that sounds like what Michael Bay does.
What's that? Harvey Weinstein? He's hired. Okay, perfect. Okay, sweet.
It's Ricardo Medina Jr. to answer Bill's thing about the Power Ranger that went to jail for manslaughter.
There's 2 of them. Just to clarify,
this is the one though, voluntary manslaughter.
There's a Blue Ranger and a Red Ranger who both had different psychotic episodes.
He was from Power Rangers, Wild Force, Power Rangers, Samurai.
There's one, when I said I know my Power Rangers, I know my Power Rangers. There was one that ended up stabbing a guy with a samurai sword and ended up getting done for murder, and then there was another guy that, involuntary manslaughter is where he got done for, and then there was another guy and his friend who took an elderly couple hostage on their yacht and essentially murdered them, tried to sell the yacht.
I was thinking like the Yellow Ranger.
It was one was a Red Ranger, one was a Blue Ranger. You are correct.
One of the Yellow Rangers died. The original Yellow Ranger.
Yep. It wasn't a Yellow Ranger because all of the Yellow Rangers up until the later seasons have vaginas.
They all had vaginas. What are you talking about?
No. In the later seasons, one of the Yellow Rangers is a male, not a female.
Well, that's why I said the original Yellow Ranger.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I am a ridiculous Power Ranger nerd.
Can we get back into the films?
Okay, we can get back onto the film. It's fine.
Okay, so
He's trying to
next
keep us
up, we're
on
doing
topic.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, starring
Which Mighty Morphin? Sorry, sorry.
the one with Ivan Ooze.
Oh, okay. Okay. The one that
The
literally starts off
original.
with fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers as the intro
Yeah.
song. I am fucking down.
They're jumping out of
I am
airplanes.
Burn out now.
Keep on
Trucking.
Okay, see, I knew the Yellow Ranger had some car thing. I didn't realize she died in a car accident.
Yeah.
I thought she killed somebody in a car accident.
They're jumping out on their sweet
Yeah.
skis.
It's
So
like
maybe I
literally-
should
what-
take the synopsis for Don't Knock Twice.
What would five people who have superpowers do as a regular weekend afternoon? Oh, I know. Chuck herself out of a plane to the sound of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
They're teenagers with attitude.
They are literally teenagers with attitude. Anyway, Don't Knock Twice.
For
Stars.
some reason, that was the only movie they ever got to make.
Sorry,
Oh
dude,
my god!
dude,
There's not even a track.
Dude, I won't even.
anymore.
I won't even lie to you. Bringing up Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in front of me right now is the worst idea you could have ever done. The only thing you could have done worse is get deeper into the He-Man conversation I brought up from earlier.
Next week's episode, we're doing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and He-Man and
Sorry, I'm
something.
changing the trailers around as well. We are on Don't Knock.
Don't Knock Twice.
Oh
Katie
God,
Sackhoff.
Don't Knock Twice is visibly way larger than the last video I put in. 2 seconds, people. Sorry for that.
And that came out in 2016. I think.
I think I was
Buzz, or
supposed to take Don't Knock Twice around. So
Whatever Don't Knock Twice.
Don't Knock Twice tells the story of a girl and her friends who somehow aggravate this witch lady and her mom, who used to take drugs, who is played by Giz. Will you please give the lady's name and the several sci-fi TV shows that she was involved in, as well as
Katie Sackhoff.
Yes,
Katie Sackhoff, most notably from Battlestar Galactica reboot, as well as 10 Million Dollar
Jason
Woman.
Goes to Space.
She wasn't in what?
What?
She was.
No.
Isn't it? I thought that was
No.
her in Jason Goes to Space.
God, no, dude.
No.
Who's the girl from Jason Goes to Space? Dude, they're the head of each other.
She's from
that's Lecter
the chick from
Dewey.
Andromeda. No, hang on, stop. He's not mixing up Katie Sackhoff with Lexi Doig, you blind bastard. He's
Well,
clearly
she was
mixing her
the-
up- He is clearly
Oh.
mixing her up with the robot chick who played
Yes.
fucking Valentine in
Rob-
Andromeda.
Thank you. Sorry, that's it. Yeah, you're correct. Sorry. They, in my defense, they do
This
look
one's
kind
like
of.
the list of
They
us.
do look kind of
It is
similar.
like-
I literally felt the hate through the screen
What?
just there.
What's the hate
Thank
through
you.
the screen?
Oh,
If you
simple.
represent
He
the
was
80s
like, you shut the fuck up while I tell you what you're talking about.
Oh.
I was like, okay, I am.
Oh, I won't lie to you. Bill and fucking Roach here are having a conversation in the chat right now that I so want to be involved in, but I have to do the synopsis of this movie. But anyway, Katie Sackhoff. It's the fact that Bill mentioned Jason the Wheel Warriors, and I was just like, fuck, yeah, it was so good. That I won't lie to you, that cartoon, like horror movies, before horror movies existed, that cartoon is one of the few things that scared the shit out of me.
Oh. And just like
Inhumanoids, the miniseries that started it.
There was
fucking horror
there was an
movie for
episode of
kids.
Jason the Wheel Warriors where there was a land of vampires that were getting invaded by a land of werewolves, and the vampires and the werewolves
That's
were.
Ghostbusters, yeah.
No, it's not fucking Ghostbusters. This was Jason the fucking
Because
Wheel
when the
Warriors.
werewolves bit the vampires and the vampires bit the
Yes,
werewolves, they went halfway
I-
between.
Yes, but
Now you're getting what I just got about a couple minutes ago.
Bill, seeing as you're the one that brought up Jason the Wheel Warriors, will you please confirm that Jason the Wheel Warriors also did this episode?
We'll wait.
No, we'll continue, and then Bill will just clarify that I'm right. Anyway, so the whole
Sackhoff.
So Katie Sackhoff was this ex-drug addict. She has become an artist now. Her daughter, who has had a lot of mental issues, due to the fact that herself and her friends have gone and fucked with this kind of witch bitch, and some shit's gone on. Not to get
her boyfriend.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. This is probably about as rough a synopsis as you get within the movie. Is literally just herself and her friends interacting with this witch bitch, and some shit's going on, and then she's able to grab them in some very entertaining and cinematically gratifying ways. Katie Sackhoff gets kind of adoption rights back on her daughter. She moves out to her. They're doing some art and all that stuff. The daughter is a little bit titchy, to say the least, towards everybody. Then after some shenanigans go on, she explains to her mom that she was like, we did this thing and there's this demon and there's a whole blah blah blah. And needless to say, Katie Sackhoff, as you can understand as a regular parent, was like,
ooh,
you're talking bullshit.
Bullshit.
That sounds like a pile of fucking... Look, not even bullshit, because I've taken a lot of drugs and I'm pretty arty. So, more so, I get where you're coming from, but it's all in your head, and that kind of witchy powers don't exist. And then some detective who used to be minding her daughter while she was in kind of housing... Foster care. Perfect, thank you, that's the word. He shows up just to kind of check in on the daughter, and a quick chat about the fact that one or two of her friends have gone fucking missing, and that lady that you've mentioned that was a witch. That lady that you mentioned was a witch. It turns out there isn't enough evidence to prove that she's a witch, and also it would turn out that from you and I knocking on her door so much, been like, hey, can we have my friends back? She killed herself. So it's like, oh, okay, this sounds like kind of a load of rudimentary kind of nonsense or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Then herself and her mom kind of start bonding. Then they start doing some artwork projects. Then demons show up everywhere. Demons. They're possessing the mom. They're fucking inhabiting the daughter. Or, well, not so much inhabiting the daughter, but
like
freaking the daughter out.
both of them.
Yeah, fucking with the daughter. Demons, wrecking the moms, all of the mums. $1 million worth of artwork, because it turns out even though she's a really shit sculptor, there's always someone to buy everything for an exquisite amount of money. Also, by the way, we have a TV show on American Horrors. If you happen to be one of those people that likes buying things for exquisite amounts of money, we could all do with that money.
I was really trying to see where you were going with this.
Yes.
Ninth Landing.
Thank you.
Ninth
That
Landing.
actually wasn't where I was going with it.
I
Wasn't.
kind of like, I think you were losing it.
No.
But like you pulled up.
No, that wasn't where I was going with it, but it was also, I was kind of like, oh, I've made a point, and this is actually also applicable, so I'll just attach these two together. Seeing
I thought I was going to have to start learning how to sculpt.
Well, it's kind of like, I
that's where
won't lie
thought you
to
were
her.
going.
Like, she made, like, don't get me wrong, she's good at sculpting, but she didn't make, like, the majority of her sculptures that you could see in the office at the time were just like the Virgin Mary and stuff, which are like, I'm not seeing anything mind-blowing outside of what I'd see in a church.
I just have to interrupt. I have to interrupt and take a GoreCast pause because you asked the question to Bill, and he says, I don't remember any Jason episode where vampires and werewolves.
Okay.
And Rochi came in. You're right, Bill. Methinks Johnny had too much or too little of the firewater.
I'm not drinking firewater. I'm just drinking whiskey.
I, on the other hand, am drinking firewater.
I won't lie to you. There was there was 2 episodes of Jason the Wee Warriors that scared me. One was one where people started turning to stone because something was going on, and it fucking freaked me out. Bear in mind, I was like 5 or 6 at the time. And the other one, although I won't lie to you, there's a very good chance, because if memory serves me correctly, didn't Jason the Wee Warriors and the Ghostbusters cartoon used to play back to back on some TV channel?
Quite probably.
That's a problem. Like here and there, that's different.
Yeah, there is
a
a chance that I used to, I may have melded 2 TV shows into one storyline.
There was definitely an episode of Ghostbusters where the whole crux of it was that there was a pack of werewolves and there was a pack of vampires fighting over the same town. So when they went to work on each other, the vampires would bite the werewolves would bite the vampires.
And then there was a whole conversation about, hey, you know the way if you get bitten by a vampire, you turn into a vampire, and if you get bitten by a werewolf, you turn into a werewolf. What happens if a vampire bites a werewolf? And then they all start...
Yeah, and then werewolves start getting bat wings and fucking vampires start getting claws and shit.
Okay.
Chances are that was Ghostbusters.
I would tell you, for sake of moving on with story of what we're actually talking about, I'll go yes. Although
GoreCast,
although I won't lie to you, now that you've I'm still not I may need to Google it just for clarification's sake, but I won't lie to you. Now that you've mentioned
I
it
can
was
send you on the episode later.
no. I'm aware there was a Ghostbusters episode as well. It's just that I remember it's very much.
Wait, is this like Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters?
No,
Like,
this is like old school vintage Ghostbusters cartoon,
The real
like the original.
Ghostbusters.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for the one where it was the 8.
Yeah. Okay, Bill.
Katie.
Am I like merging two TV shows together or something, or is it? What is it? Because there's a very good chance, because I do think they used to play back to back on like BBC or something.
Bill's saying you're right about the Stone episode being Jace.
Okay, there's a chance I might just be merging two TV shows all into the one
Back to back, yeah.
thing. Okay.
Hey,
cool.
so
Look, I won't
tell
lie to you.
Katie good night.
For sake of, oh, night, Katie. Sorry for you not
See you,
getting
Katie.
to see any of the movie
We
reviews
were-
before you left. Okay, I'll tell you
Saw
what.
one.
For sake of moving on with the show, I'm just going to say I was wrong, and the vampire werewolf thing is Ghostbusters, and other thing is Jason the Wee Warriors. Either way, freak me out, Jason the
ever
Wee
want to
Warriors.
see like a monsters like Planet TV show? Ben
Yeah.
10 was awesome.
Where was I in the witch thing before that came up?
We pretty much wrapped it up. Like we talked.
Yeah. So there's a bit of finger pointing because the detective guy, the mum realizes that after reading one article on the internet that most of the time if people are getting murdered, it's the person closest to them is murdering them. And
It was something the detective actually said to her.
the detective literally said it to her.
And then like that's what
Yeah.
started that whole.
And I won't lie to you. I loved how she just lashed onto that and just formulated an entire conspiracy theory out of it. It was great.
Hey, I've done more with less.
But I
Yes.
will say for the movie, that's where it started to lose me, because all of a sudden everybody's pointing fingers, the cops pointing, she's pointing.
Her pointing,
kind of where I was like, eh.
her pointing and the cops pointing wasn't where I had issues with this movie. Sorry, let me just finish the synopsis and then we'll get into all of that. So, so everyone's pointing fingers at each other. People get sucked into demon realms looking for daughters who've gone missing and other people that have gone missing.
Right.
And then it turns out that demons are real, essentially, by the end of the movie. And that's it. That's the rough kind of synopsis for the movie. The reason I'm making it that rough a synopsis is it's obviously going to come out more what I'm talking about as we... like for synopsis-wise, I think that'll do. It's more explanations going to come.
Sorry.
To be fair, I think they did there's a lot of stuff about this film that I liked, and there's a lot of stuff that I didn't like. Mainly the pacing at times. Like you said, it gets very, especially around the middle of it, when it gets to that whole finger pointing part of it. You're kind of like, what the? Anyway,
I won't lie to you. Hey, what's going on, newbie? How are you, bro? I won't lie to you. The finger pointing. The only reason the finger pointing bugged me was because I found. I can get where the cops were coming from, going, you were the last person in contact with this girl, and now she's gone AWOL.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? The finger pointing towards the cop, the finger pointing towards the detective, I found a little bit unfounded because it was literally like, you said that one time that most of the people that murder people are usually the closest to them, and
if they hadn't established from pretty much the beginning of the film that there is something happening, if they had kept it vaguer, then you'd be able to fall. Then that would have worked better. You'd be able to fall into that better. It actually.
I won't lie to you. I don't know. Could you, in the defense of the way the script went in this movie, I don't know. Could you have actually kept everything that was going on vaguer without?
We've seen it being done before.
Yes, we have, and they're the movies where we're like, I won't lie to you. This really dragged ass until the last.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. And to be fair, this is my point, right? This is the point that I'm. Hang on, this is the point that I'm making, right? Because the rest of the film, the pace is so quick, and because we are instantaneously hit with this stuff, it means that when it does get to that stage, that's when it drags, and it's in the middle of the film. And usually, if you're usually something like this, you expect the start with the drag, and then it picks up later on. So as a result, you're getting to the point you're kind of like, okay, this is really good, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like, now I've hit a speed bump, and now the last half hour is just dragging ass, and I don't even care.
I'll tell you something for nothing. I think that was actually a well-constructed, intentional idea, because it's like, the pacing of the movie is well-paced, but it nearly, well, no, here's the thing. Hear me out. It's well-paced, but it's not well paced in the way that you're used to it being well paced.
Oh, okay.
If you get me. So
in the type of story that it is, it's well paced.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. They've well paced the movie, but it's very much within the relevance of that movie. It's not what you've been kind of brought to kind of expect.
Okay.
You know
what? And maybe that's my problem. Because it's not what I expected.
Like, if you think about it, it starts off very much, there's definitely a witch or a demon or whatever doing shit. You see a guy within the first 15 minutes of the movie getting sucked out of a room, you know? And you're like, oh, okay.
Then out of the sink, like, there's definitely shit there.
Then you get the daughter showing up in the mum's house, and there's the whole, obviously because the mum used to be a drug addict and the daughter was in foster care.
You get the gaslight situation.
Yeah, you get not just the gaslight situation, but you get them trying to kind of reestablish. You get them trying to reestablish a relationship. Number one, and then there's also the fact that the mum, who obviously probably was seeing some fucking trippy shit while she was off her fucking nuts and drugs, is now grounded back in realism, and then the daughter is now. Okay, no worries, Bill. I'll catch you later, brother. Thanks for joining in. And yes, also best of luck with the exam. You get that pacing where it's kind of like them kind of trying to build a relationship again, number one. Number two, there's also the daughter's now talking about what you can, within the realms of the story at that time, declare as outlandish shit going on. You know what I mean? The mum's just kind of like, look.
And I liked it because mom is in her new sober, like, sweetie, life's not this way. Like, so I did kind of like it that she was in her zone. The daughter, like you said, she's coming in from her spot. I liked how things tracked. It was just
the gaslighting.
Like you said, it was not the way I was used to, I guess.
Well, you see, if you look at the normal way that this kind of haunted person / haunted general thing happens in a movie, it's normally you start with the relationship building, where it's like X, Y, and a Z haven't met each other in whatever numerous amount of years. They're now rekindling the relationship or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm living in this new house that I've miscellaneously bought, blah, 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 blah. Turns out, insert random person. Mad shit starts happening. There's the whole kind of, hey, look, you've been through some harsh shit, but I haven't been through some harsh shit. I think you're just kind of, I think you're just transposing your harsh shit into a manifestation in the house kind of thing. Then some stuff keeps happening. Some stuff keeps happening, yada, yada, yada. We maybe get a miscellaneous, I am a voodoo practitioner, or I am a fucking psychic, or blah, 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 blah.
This house has been cleansed.
Perfect. Right. Yeah, this house is clear. That kind of thing. And then we blah, 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 blah. Turns out the house isn't clear. Blah, 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 blah. Movie ends. Whereas this is a whole different setup where it starts off with, we've got a witch. Some people we've got a witch. Some people fucked with the witch, and people are getting sucked through doors.
It was interesting that it was Baba Yaga as well. I liked how they incorporated it.
Yes, 100% love that. But it starts off with the witch. Then it moves into the daughter and the mum rekindling their relationship, and the mum now being a more level and centered person, trying to look at the anxiety, if you think about it, and the things that are affecting the daughter. That it's like, look, I haven't been around. You've been bounced through foster care and houses and everything. These are all things that would kind of naturally manifest. And the daughter been like, no, I totally got the fact that you're off your fucking bollocks on drugs and you couldn't handle a kid, and now you're okay with it. I'm okay with that. It's the fact that myself and my friends fucked with a witch, and now people are getting fucking sucked out through fucking doors. Look, you're talking crazy. I saw all of this whack ball shit when I fucking blah, 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 blah. Until she sees her daughter go, and try to get sucked out a door, at which point she's like, fuck, there's a witch. Do you know what I mean? So, it's the proper layout for this style of movie, but with the components, in my opinion, quite intelligently swapped around. Where they literally tell you at the start of the movie, this is what's going on. And then they try to tell you during the movie, or maybe, is it all in the little girl's head? And then it's like, oh no, there's definitely a witch.
Like I said, for me, all that's good. It's just, And when I say the finger pointing, you all know what I mean, because it's like 10 or 15 minutes where it all becomes this conspiracy theory.
Right.
And it's like, well, maybe what if it's not a witch and maybe it's just this conspiracy? That segment just made the entire film drag. But the rest of it, for me, worked for... I knew what they were, like, the way that the judge was explaining it there, I got...
Keep an eye on the chat in the stream for 2 seconds. I got to go check on something. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, no, we're all good. We're all good.
No, see, that's kind of where it lost me, like, because it was, to me anyways, and like Deadly already pointed out, it's a different pacing, and that may have been where my issue was, because like I'm already ADD, and this path just did not fucking work for me, and so when it got to the whole finger pointing thing, it was like, it felt like everything just stopped in the sense of a story.
Yeah, I'll be honest. If not for the fact that there are so many very good, creepy scenes throughout the film, because there's this film could have very easily gone color by numbers, and it kind of does in a way. But when they do the creepy stuff, they handle it properly. You know, the shadowy apparition walking past in the background, or fucking, you know, they don't do any jump scares. It's all the creep factor, and it works better that way. So that when they do a jump scare, it's not even a jump scare. It's like, you know it's going to be there. So when it's a reveal, it just works better.
And I really like the effects in this one. I'm not like it. It's nothing to fucking complain about. I had more issues with like pacing than I did visuals or camera work or anything like that. I mean, like, fuck, even the acting wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? Like, it was just more like you could not handle the pacing on this one.
My problem was that the daughter had a British accent and the mom didn't.
So
depending on when she gave her up.
Hang on. You know the film's set in England, right?
No, I didn't pay attention to that part.
How? Every other person that they interact with is English.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I mean, did you not notice that the cop had an English accent? There were British plates. They were clearly British police. I hate to break it to you, but the few signs and stuff that we saw, they were labeling places in England. So just so you know, that was an American couple coming back over because the daughter, like, the film's set in England.
Yeah.
Dude, your powers like never cease to amaze me.
There's like he's oof.
But he will be
I don't
able
know
to
what
tell
the
me.
opposite. I don't know what the opposite of deduction is, but your powers of that are astounding.
No. But he will be able to tell us the name of the person that served them like fucking coffee. Oh, that's so and so from this.
But then
I've never.
So getting back to the daughter, I recognized her. She was in Bohemian Rhapsody, who played Freddie Mercury's wife, kind of girlfriend.
Just shocking news for you. Just so you know, Queen is actually a British band.
Yes,
so
I'm aware of that.
Just in case you were wondering why a lot of people had English accents, it's because they're a British band.
Sorry, I missed something. What?
Buzz didn't realize the film was set in England and couldn't understand why the daughter had an English accent, but the mother had an American one.
Because they all had fucking English accents, asshole. They're from England. That's why.
But she's birthed from a non-England.
She's American.
Yeah.
Buzz, I hate to break it to you.
You know the
once
way.
upon a time, hang on. I hate to break it to you, but once upon a time, every single person you have ever been related to in your entire life was descended either from an Irish person, a bad Danish person, or a British person.
I won't lie to you. It's probably an Irish person because the country that you now
The
so
red
proudly
hair,
live
yeah,
in.
I know, I see it.
Well, no, I'm not just talking
Well,
that.
we
I'm
built
talking
this.
about the fact that it's literally they just went, where can we put the criminal Irish people that we've all been
No,
locking
that was
up?
Australia.
Yeah,
That was
it's
Australia.
and America. Australia prevalently more so.
Yeah, fuck me, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Australia was a prison colony for the Irish.
Yeah.
No, I know.
It's
Australia
why the
was.
Aussies
These
love
are all
Irish people,
American.
and we all say cunt at a regular basis because we're all related.
Actually, it's why the Aussies hate the British.
Yes, because we're all
Well, like,
related.
we were ran over for using the C word. Like, I can't even say it. It's like a C word.
Yeah, I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
You see, that's the
part of our
you see,
vocabulary.
that's the opening.
That's your
That's the opening gambit as to why Australians and Irish are so integrally tied together, is the fact that we use the cunt word in a literal. Like, I can literally, I can explain to someone that Giz, I can be like, Giz, he's a good cunt. Do you know what I mean? And they'd be like, all right, okay, cool, he's a nice guy. Or I could be like, oh, Giz, he's some fucking cunt. And then it'd be like, oh, he's a bad guy. Do you know what I mean?
See,
cunt, it's a versatile word. People just don't use it to its applicable nature.
And it's tougher than people think. And Rochi has a message that we need to. Oh no, he retracted it. Never mind. That must have been horrible.
What was the message?
I have no idea.
Saying something to Bill. I think he went to say bye, Bill. And
he was saying goodbye to Bill, I think. Okay. So anyway,
okay,
we're going to start rounding into. Are we finished on our theories about this movie? I don't know what happened while it was.
Theories. We were discussing things that we liked and things we didn't like, and the thing that Buzz didn't like was the fact that the daughter had an English accent and the mother had an American one.
Oh, so it's because she banged an English dude and the daughter was fostered in English or in English in England.
I had to explain geography and the fact that the film is set in England, since every other fucking person has a British accent.
Yeah,
and all the signs are British places. And they're British police officers.
If anything, the thing that should have pointed out to you as odd is like, why is that American lady surrounded by a bunch of English people?
And that's what I was saying. Like, we didn't know what age she gave her up. So
it's because she's in England.
Up with
that's right.
Several around.
You do get a kind of, you don't get a definitive age, but you do kind of get a rough synopsis that the daughter had been taken off her several years ago, and she was trying to get her shit sorted out for quite some time.
She gave up her daughter.
Yes,
she says it. She gave up her daughter.
Yeah.
Actually, you might be
because she needed to get her shit sorted out. Am I correct?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you never knew what age. So depending on a younger age bracket, you tend to absorb what's around you and then grow into that. So the child grew into English because of that younger age bracket.
True.
Or because she was probably in England when the kid was born and raised.
Yes.
I'm saying it right.
Given for adoption.
Or it might be something as simple as the child was like, there's a crazy witch trying to kill me. I might just change my accent to hope that nobody fucking murders me.
Anyway, you might be interested to know that apparently there's a computer game for this.
Not related.
No, it is related.
I don't think so.
Really?
Don't Knock Twice. Where is it?
Yeah. I don't think it's
first-person survival horror game published by Wales Interactive. Don't Knock Twice has been adapted from the film with the same title, sharing a loosely similar story as the film.
Okay.
It's also where we actually get the surnames of the characters, because it's always just Jessica, Chloe, Ben, but from the game we learned that it's Jessica Webb Thomas, Chloe Webb, and Ben Thomas, who would be, Katie Sackhoff's husband.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually realize they were tied in together, to be honest. Tis news to Johnny, as they say.
Well, that's G.I. Joe for you, because now you know, and no one's half the battle.
That was a terrible G.I. Joe link. Is this your excuse to go into? It's not the best G.I. Joe link.
I thought
it was good.
I thought so.
So are we?
Oh yeah, trailer time, I think.
Okay, trailer time. All right, trailer time. We'll be back in a moment, and we're going to be talking all about the significantly more recent movie on Netflix. Don't Listen, which I won't be super talking about because
I thought it was awesome.
I bored the plot right out of my head. Okay, cool. Trailer time.
Hey, did you hear that new zombie film by Zack?
When I was a kid, there was this strange old woman. People started saying she was a witch. If you knocked on her door, she would come and get you.
Hi, Chloe. I know that your recent relationship with your daughter hasn't been easy. She believes that witches are conspiring to feed her to a demon.
Be careful, Jess. There's a darkness around her.
Did you do this?
I thought I was safe.
Chloe? Who are you?
She opens a doorway between hell so she can devour the innocent. She's coming for me next.
Yes!
Right, so full discretion. Here's what happened. The first trailer in the show was downloaded in 240p, and it turns out everything else was in 720p. And it turns out that if you have several things near your mouse, it'll make stuff flip inside out. So, sorry about the trailer looking fucking arsewaste, but we're going to cut to the trailer again where you can enjoy it in all its full actual aspect ratio glory. Here's the trailer for fucking Don't Knock Twice, back in 2 minutes.
When I was a kid, there was this strange old woman. People started saying she was a witch. If you knocked on her door, she would come and get you.
Hi, Chloe. I know that your recent relationship with your daughter hasn't been easy. She believes that witches are conspiring to feed her to a demon.
Be careful, Jess. There is a darkness around her.
Did you do this?
I thought I was safe.
Chloe? Who are you?
She opens a doorway between hell so she can devour the innocent. She's coming for me next.
Yes!
Nothing is gonna happen to you.
One. I also realized I didn't have the trailer for Don't Knock, even though I had it all lined up, not playing, so apologies for that. So
me and Giz being like the fucking straights of this week's show, we haven't done ratings yet. Giz.
Oh, for this one? Yeah, good point.
In my defense, I did mention the
Yes,
fucking
you
fact
did.
that I'm not that fucked up.
In my defense, what's wrong with what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I'm just saying I don't like being like I don't like this.
Apparently he's getting himself mixed up with countries and believing that every movie ever made has to be made in America.
Sorry, you have a
Good old
cinnamon.
red,
There's
white,
a
blue.
cinnamon industry outside of America. Wait, Harry Potter's not American?
The Avengers are not. So we won.
What?
The Avengers
I
are
don't
American?
know. I was trying to help. I was trying to help you. Like I'm used to like it's you and me, Johnny and Giz. Like this week it's like me and Giz. It's weird. I don't know.
I'm against everybody. That's normally how it is.
Look, everybody needs to realize Johnny's allowed to drink occasionally as well, right? Like, I mean, like I'm allowed to fucking get fucked up for a show.
No, one of us said that you weren't allowed to get fucked up for a show.
They evidently detected copyrighted material during the last trailer. I'm not trying to sound like an asshole here, but like, Don't Knock Twice. I mean, you should be happy that people are talking about your movie in a favorable light. Like, don't be getting fucking shitty over the fact we ran your trailer.
It has begun.
Sorry, like, I mean, like, dude, I was
who produced?
I was very fucking lenient on the fucking movie. Like, there's a lot of plot holes I could have got into, and I was like, they're not so big. They're not so big. None of them are big individually, but I mean, cumulatively, if you add them all up, there's a lot of fucking... How the fuck haven't people realized there's an actual demon by now? I mean, like, 20 minutes into the movie, you're like, oh, demon, okay, cool. And everyone else is just like, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, what's the next movie we're talking about?
Hang on. Briefly, I'm going to give it 3 stars.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to give it less than 3 now.
I'm going 2.
2.
I'm probably
My
going
ADD wanted me to fucking kill myself.
Honest opinion, them copyright flagging the trailer aside, I'm going to go 3 because I did quite enjoy the movie.
I thought it looked cool. I just like.
It's an average of about 2.5.
Yes. Giz, I love how I didn't ask you to handle the maths, but you have, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Right, so next up we have from Netflix, from 2020, Don't Listen, who, as I previously stated, I can't do the trailer for this, for the synopsis.
Okay, I got this one. I got this one.
Yeah.
Okay, firstly,
do it justice.
Firstly, it's a fantastically shot Spanish movie.
That it is.
In which Daniel, his wife Sarah, and their son Eric have moved into a house because basically Daniel and Sarah like to move into houses, renovate them, sell them on. They make a lot of money. Apparently, their last house they made a killing. So they moved into this new house, and basically from the outset we can see that something isn't right because Eric is being visited by, some form of child counselor who is asking him about these voices that he says he can hear. Over the course of the movie, we see that Eric is hearing voices through the walkie-talkies that he uses with his dad. In fact, very early on, we see that when the counselor kind of like says, "Look, it's just because you moved into someplace new. You'll meet new friends. You get over it. You get past it. It'll be fine." And the counselor ends up.
They make it sound like they flipped like multiple houses. Like this is what they do.
Oh yeah, this is
that's like their job is flipping houses.
That's why I was saying that's what they do.
Yeah.
But anyway, the counselor is driving along when she starts to hear something coming through the radio, and a fly goes right into her ear, and she kind of ends up going right into a tree as a result of it. And we see
right
what
into a
happens
tree.
to her.
Right into a tree is the understatement of the century.
God!
We see that what happened to her was alluded to in one of the drawings that Eric said that the voices tell him to do.
I hear voices in my head.
He is definitely not Randy Orton. Anyway,
oh my God! I'm not even going to get into it.
As the film progresses, we see creepy stuff happening, mainly involving the Gid, whereby he starts to see ghostly apparitions, or Daniel, as he moves around the house at night because he hears the gate to the pool open, we can see these cool little ghostly apparitions in the background really briefly. One night, however, tragedy strikes as Daniel hears the gate opening and closing again, goes out to check and finds Eric dead in the pool. Shortly after, Sarah basically says that she can't stay in the house any longer. That's understandable. Daniel has to stay there because they're renovating the place and all their money's tied up in it. He records a message to Sarah, basically apologizing for kind of flipping the bean a little bit when she left. Sarah calls him the next day asking is he all right, because the message, she couldn't hear it properly, there was all screams. When Daniel listens back to it, he can hear what he definitely believes to be his son's voice asking him to help him. He immediately goes to seek out...
Dude, it's like a hard plead, too.
Yeah. He immediately goes to seek out a guy named Jermaine, who has written a book about voices from beyond, basically hearing voices from, the other side captured in calls and things like that. He's investigated these things for many, many years. Most of them are hoaxes. He is still to find a real one. And then Daniel turns up and eventually convinces him, and I suppose his daughter, who kind of his daughter Ruth, who he kind of drags along, to come along and investigate his house. Because the film is only out last year, we're not going to get into too many more plot details of it. But in my opinion, I think I probably would not have watched this film as closely as I did if I didn't watch it subtitled. And as a result, might not have found it as intriguing as I did if it wasn't a foreign movie, because I've seen many movies like this that have done things very similar. And I think that if I'd watched this dubbed the way they eat it, well, no, I wouldn't have, because that's not how I watch live action movies like this. If this was an American movie or an English movie or something like this, done in this setting, I might not have thought as much of it as I do. But personally, for what it does, I thought that it did the creepy stuff well.
Sorry, do you mind me asking, why, if it was set in an American setting, would the well laid out creepiness be less effective?
Honestly,
this is my interviewer. It's the slash drunk slash interviewer in me now.
I don't know about kids, but I tend to I check my phone a lot. I'll hear fucking notifications, so I wind up like staring more at my phone and listening to a movie. Here's dubbed, it was like, or subtitle. I was like, I had to pause every time I checked my phone because, like, if you think about it, we got to talking in the chat, and I was like, fuck, pause. Okay, no, I did like that. Cool.
There is a non-subtitle version though.
Yeah, there's
know. I get that.
It's in America.
Guys, at the end of the day, it's down to cinema style. And generally speaking, American cinema style goes for more flash than substance, especially when it comes to something like this. Right. Because a film like this,
the American,
like I said,
the American cinema style is not good at keeping its cards up its sleeve. They're very much, this is what's going on.
No,
boom.
Exactly.
Now, here's the thing.
I'll watch a foreign film with no issue. I kind of put American films in the background and like listen for notifications, people blowing up, people screaming.
And the reason for that is because they do so much color by number stuff, and a film like this fall into that category very, very easily. And this film, because it's handled slightly differently, it's not that we don't know what's going to be happening. It's not that we don't see a lot of the stuff that's going to occur. It's that the way it is handled is interesting. The way it is handled, the pace that it's done at, the way that the characters are portrayed, because most of this movie, it is, like I said, you can predict what's going to happen up to a point. And then there's something that happens near the end of this film, which we're not going to get into. And as soon as a character just picks up something and the penny drops, and it's before, personally, it was before you get the visualization, but as soon as he picked it up, because there's a clue at the very start of the movie when Eric says, the voices make me draw stuff, and you see him drawing something, but you see a glimpse of a picture, but you never see what it's describing. And so when a certain character picks up a picture at the end and you realize he's looking at that, and I just, personally for me, I just went, holy shit.
I felt the payoff at the ass end of it was beautiful.
I thought the ending was cool.
There was that build up, there's a build up, and then all of a sudden there's the end, and I was like, oh, fuck me, this is a good fucking movie, dude. Like, I was sold.
I personally, I think if it was an American-made movie, they would have telegraphed it way too soon.
No, like if you look at the Japanese version and the American version of, like, say, The Ring, that's how it shoots.
They're two significantly different levels of scary.
And I didn't realize it until like years and years later after watching the Ring franchise. I finally caught the original. I was like, okay, when I caught the original, I was like, that's how you tell a fucking story.
You see, it's
the ability to create tension.
Yes, it's also, there's also this differential between translation. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'd imagine like the American producers were just like, okay, so it's a lot of talking and people trying to figure out stuff, and then at the end, and a couple of little bits as we go through the movie, it's some chick going out of the TV screen, and it's kind of like, no, if you actually watch the actual movie, it's like all of that conversation and everything, it's priming you for stuff. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't seem significant at the time, but when you get the big reveal halfway through and the bigger reveal at the end, not only is it scary as shit because you see this chick fucking crawling out of your TV screen, but all of a sudden a load of fucking jigsaw pieces all start going clunk, 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 and you're like, oh, fuck. All at the same time that you see this fucking demon crawling out of the or well, not demon, like, but you see this thing crawling out of the screen.
But it's also headspace, though, because when they make films, they base it off of so much of their, what's my word?
Culture?
Folklore.
Thank you. Culture, folklore. We are like, oh, hey, vampires, they suck your blood, whatever. We don't really lead into that fucking folklore and culture as hard as they do. And them doing that produces such a better fucking film in the overall.
When you live in a culture that literally kind of
is so comparatively young.
Well, not just that. I was going to say that, like, it does heavily revolve around these ghost stories. Like they're integral to their culture. These kind of ghost stories, as well as
like
same way like the Banshee and stuff is kind of like integrally tied into Irish history. Do you know what I mean? As in, albeit figmentational or not, it's still tied into the Irish folklore and the Irish history of things. Whereas,
but then we just create somebody that like sucks somebody off a boat. And then there's fucking credit.
The reason for that is like you guys were settled in by the English and then also the Irish and all of that. So it's like a lot of those kind of folklore stories that you guys would have heard were the folklore stories that we were already telling for fucking years before our Irish lads and the English lads all showed up in the country. That's the thing.
But it's more than that because
it's though. So like we have to change an aspect of that. And in that changing, it kind of gets dumbed down.
Well, I mean, there's also misconceptions and misinterpretations. It's the same as the way you guys think Sam Hain. It's the same way that Americans think Sam Hain is a dude, whereas Sam Hain is a cultural misconception because Sam Hain isn't a dude. Sam Hain is a misspelling when stuff got transferred from Irish to English to over America, where Samhain is like the Sam Hain you guys know is actually Halloween in general, which is Samhain, which is Samhain.
And that's true, yeah. But again, that's that kind of like crossover. Like we're like, well, we don't have that. How do we do this? Well, fuck it. It's like
at the end of the day, what it comes down to is this, right? When you look at America, the culture is it's a hodgepodge of all the people that came over and settled, but all those people that settled were already indoctrinated into certain
ways to think,
bullshit beliefs. They were already indoctrinated into Christianity and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most folklore, most actual folklore comes from what we would term as pagan beliefs. Yeah. The reason that the Japanese hold on to their ghost stories and stuff is because they still have Buddhism and things like that.
Yeah.
The reason that the Irish hang on to the Banshee and the scythe is because we still tell. Myself and Johnny, when we were in like fucking baby,
are you going to talk about some random Shanachie that showed up and started telling us about all the go? No, okay.
No, when you and I were in primary school doing Irish history, the vast majority of Irish history was actually Irish folklore.
Yeah,
but it was being taught as Irish history.
Yes, and being taught to us by a big bearded dude known as a Shanachie. Telling us to...
No. I just had like the teacher. I don't know what the fuck you were.
I was in LSP, so I had a Shanachie.
I wasn't. I was just in a normal fucking primary school.
Seeing as LSP was multi-denominational, they thought it was best to get a professional that handles Irish folklore to come in and talk about it.
I wasn't. I was a fucking Irish Catholic school. Anyway, my point is that as a result of the fact that America is primarily made up of all these other cultures, and its own culture is relatively young. There's no ancestry leading to these ancient beliefs which lead to these more folklore type stories, apart from Native Americans. If you were to, the only way that would work is if you had a story made for Native Americans by Native Americans based on their beliefs, which worked their culture into a way of doing a horror story or some other type of story.
Well,
that's it would have the same resonance.
I'll tell you, kind of saying it, kind of on topic of what we're talking about. One of my issues with this, and it's kind of it is a credit to the Spanish horror movie scene in general, is that I've been so used and so kind of pre-keyed to the Spanish horror movie scene, shall we say, being very innovative. You know, you had Rec and you had other such kind of levels of movies where it's like, we didn't just take a genre, we completely fucking flipped it. Do you know what I mean? I found this, and I think it was one of the reasons I kind of tuned out storyline wise. I found it relatively rudimentary. That it's like, if you're used to any, I won't lie to you, if you're used to any well thought out American style movie, and I'm not talking about just your general fucking haunted house American style movies, I'm talking the real deep ones that kind of get into your head and make you think about shit. The key beats storyline wise and tension wise were there, where you were kind of like, if you've watched a lot of kind of like multi-denominational horror cinema, not just this is how Europe do it, and this is how other people do it. You can kind of see where it was going.
I feel like our problem, and I don't know, maybe Buzz can or not back me up on this. I feel like we cater to a lower. I'm sorry, I don't want to say lower.
Lower common denominator when you turn cinema viewer.
Your guys are more eager to remove out all of the thought process in a movie and just let you know what's
like. I was trying to find a way to like. I didn't want to be a dick.
Yeah.
Like we want to make sure that any window licker can follow.
Yeah,
this fucking
it's very fucking. It's very followed by numbers, basically. Yeah. Scene 1 happens, and then scene 2 happens, and the thing happens in scene 3, and then there's some miscellaneous bollocks from scene 5, 6, and 7, and then.
So like, I don't necessarily think like, I don't know, like if we did a movie and it was based out of say Irish culture, and they did it in Irish culture, I would be super stoked to watch it and be like, cool, fucking whatever. But then all of a sudden, like, oh, what was it? Train to
Busan. Train to Busan.
Busan. I fear because there's talk about the Americans remaking that movie, and that movie is fucking brilliant.
I won't lie to you. Best case scenario for that movie is they do the same as they did as the American version of Let Me In, where they like my problem with the American version of Let Me In was my problem.
It's the same movie.
Yeah, that was my problem with the American version of Let Me In was like there was no attempt to try and adapt things to the American style of things. It was literally look, let's just reshoot this in English.
If we adapt it, I guess like part of that is because we are such a multi
cultural denomination.
We have problems trying to figure out how to get everybody into this story, and I get that, but I kind of feel like at some point you just kind of like, hey, this is about werewolves, this is about zombies, and just be like, this is the fucking story.
The problem with the problem with the American cinema style of things when it comes to that kind of movie is that there's no attempt to go, how do we adapt this to an American audience? Like what are the where this and this is what are key beats that
culturally relevant.
Yeah, that are culturally relevant and get people from Asia or kind of Eastern European countries and that kind of thing into a movie.
Maybe we don't need to adapt.
The American style of cinema don't try to adapt it. They just either
transplant.
They either so adapt it that they take what is a very creative piece of cinematic art and just turn it into a rudimentary slasher flick kind of thing, or rudimentary ghost flick, or rudimentary haunted house flick, or rudimentary possession flick, or whatever way you want to call it. And instead of trying to do what is just painted by numbers, as you and I were discussing earlier, they should be trying to go, okay, I get where this movie's coming from and how it's reaching out to people that way. What are the things that culturally tie into America that we can tie into these things?
Why some stories you don't need to like try to tie everybody into, because the fact of where they come from is what's making that important. So like that adapts to that culture, like The Ring. Just to go like, okay, so they're heavy into this. This is how they do things. This is how it works. And go, hey, look, this is the American version of The Ring.
But you see that
this culture.
The Ring's a very good example of how that style of adaptation can get fucked up very easily. Because, like as I said, whoever directed the American version of The Ring, and don't get me wrong, like monster wise and cinematic wise and stuff and everything, it was shot fucking beautifully.
Right.
The music's done very well. The monster, when you see her coming out of the screen, like, don't get me wrong, that is visually it's way better in the American version, but aesthetically and effectively it's way better in the Japanese version, because as I said, it's like the Americans watched Ringu without translations or something and just went, okay, so it's basically a load of people talking about this tape,
right?
We get a little bit of a flash here and there about the tape doing shit to people, and then mostly it's all about a big payoff where you see Tape Girl come from tape to real life, and we get a whole thing. You know what I mean? And they missed out on the The great thing about Japanese cinema, and myself and Giz have praised this when it comes to the Japanese horror cinema, is it's not all about, even when it's a gory movie, and even when it's a monster movie, and even when it's something that's like overtly one style of movie, that's not how they prime you for the scares in the movie. There's these little subtle hints and nuances in the dialogue, and you feel this tension building between people, and then some other little subtle nuances in dialogue will get dropped, and then eventually you kind of half have it in the back of your head. Oh, there's going to be this kind of I don't know. There's got to go a little bit hentai on it. There's going to be this tentacle monster kind of thing, from what I'm kind of getting in the back of my head, and then what they deliver on visually is 100% bigger than what they've kind of keyed you for. And then there's this beautiful way that they don't shoot all of this tight shots to try and hide the special effects and everything. Everything's shot wide, and you can see everything fucking happen. And there's this just great music, and it may not be the kind of music that you would expect in that kind of scene, but fuck me, does it suit the scene when it happens. And then all of the acting kicks in, and then all of a sudden load of these subtle little hints and nods that you've heard, not even that you've heard, but you've subliminally registered while watching the movie, especially if you're watching it as a non-Japanese speaker, where you're watching stuff come up in text on the screen. It's just science that the human brain takes in text in that manner.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
If you're looking at an American film, the statement subtle is usually not in the fucking
there's
film.
no. Well, I mean, half of the problem with American cinema, as myself and Giz have discussed multiple.
I'm proud of where I am, but when I look at movies in general, I lean more towards foreign films. If I'm I want to think, I want to figure this bullshit out, I tend to watch foreign films. And if I want to turn my brain off and just be like some shit, I tend to watch American films.
American movies tend to be less cerebral.
Not only less cerebral, American movies, as you and I have discussed several times on chat, they're not only less cerebral, they give away everything in the fucking trailer.
Oh, dude. If it's not the trailer, it's guaranteed the first 10 to 15 minutes of the film. They're like, hey, this is Jason Voorhees. He's going to kill all these fucking drug, sex, crazy, whatever. Yeah. And then, the movie goes. But,
don't get me wrong. When it comes to American cinema, you guys are very, very good at doing certain stuff. There's very few people that can take a character. There's very few people that can take a murdering machine killing character. And this is from a guy who is a big Friday the 13th franchise fan. There's very few people that can take a murderous killing machine style character like Jason Voorhees, and when you boil it down to its simplest principles, Jason Voorhees is actually kind of the good guy if you really look at it through the movies. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on American cinema in general. It's just that when it comes to taking foreign movies in and adapting that concept with trying to make it American to a certain degree, if you know what I mean. Because anytime you take a foreign movie and adapt it to your country, the whole idea is to try and hit the pulse within your community the way that movie hit the pulse within its original community. You know what I mean? And as I said, it's very hard. Jason Voorhees, realistically, at the end of all, he's a dude who he's a dude who got mistreated by a load of fucking camp counselors.
Right.
Got drowned to death, then watched his mum, who tried to avenge his unfair death, get literally fucking beheaded by an exact similar asshole fucking counselor that had resulted in him drowning in the fucking first place. And then he dons a hockey mask and goes hocking people's heads off whenever he can get an excuse. Don't get me wrong, as a guy who loves his fucking mother, I'm from fucking Ireland, I can get behind that.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Maybe that's a bad example. So if you look at there was a film that came out a few years back called, what was it called? Wolves. It was a bunch of people caught on a train.
Right.
Asian film. God, what was that called? Because I don't want to fuck that up, because it's a really good fucking movie. But like I said, it's basically people caught on a fucking train. Howl, and it came out in 2015. Okay.
Oh yeah, we reviewed that. It's an English movie.
Yeah.
English?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. Again, like that crossover, I do not believe, as an American, we could pull off what Howl did with what it had. We would have gone more for jump scares. And even though Howl was already gory, we would have tried gory-er, if that makes sense. We would have gone more, say, necessarily like Hostel or Saw. And I don't think that movie needed it. Howl was awesome as is.
I would say, in the defense of your description of the Americanization of cinema, it would depend on what year they decided to do the remake of that movie.
Yes and no. I mean,
because in the defense of the Ring remake, gory, they went for tension, and don't get me wrong, the tension is in that movie, and the visual effects are in that movie, but it's just kind of, while it's there, it's just that half a beat off,
right?
Being fully successful.
Which is why I said we tend to go more for like jump scares or gore. Because to me, a jump scare is that off-timed, actual good window that you could have fucked somebody up.
But that's what I'm saying with the American cinema. That's what I'm saying with the American cinema remakes. The whole we go for jump scares and gore is very canonically you could nearly pick it was after.
Oh yeah.
It was after the kind of the Saw / Hostel vibe that everything was like, okay, let's take this, but make it way fucking bloodier. But before that, it wasn't. Before that, it wasn't really bad remakes of movies. If you get me, it was just they were the reason they got kind of voted. So the reason a lot of them got voted so bad, it was because they were so close to being right. But because they were so close to being right, it was so noticeable that they fucked it up.
And I think that's so
quick
close.
Question, lads.
Where...
What stuff did you like about Don't Listen?
Oh, I really liked the cinematography in it. I thought it was shot
on track.
I thought it was shot really well. I thought I thought the soundtrack was quite.
You for being professional.
I thought the soundtrack was quite good. The acting overall was quite well, and I know this all sounds weird considering I kind of at the tip of the show said I wasn't really over it with this movie. It looked great. Everything sounded great. Everything was acted great. It was just that it was kind of rather rudimentary. To me.
Side note though, for anybody, because like we talked about, this came out in 2020.
Thanks for bringing us back on track, by the way, Giz. I appreciate that.
I do and I don't, because damn you, dude. That was a good conversation.
Look,
for those...
normally it's me going, I've given you 25 minutes of the not related conversation, so if we can get back on track. Yeah, so look, he's sober.
But then I okay, so that's deadly second warning.
I'd like to point out, by the way, this didn't work. This wasn't officially worked out in advance. It just turned out that Giz wasn't drinking tonight, and I was.
For those that are watching it on Netflix, and it was brought up in an article I read, if you're watching it on a streaming service, it tends to kick you out before, the end of credits.
Yeah, because it's Netflix.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's an after credit scene. I forgot.
To get back on topic, will one of you...
We are on topic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Will one of you give me the rough synopsis of the after credit scene? Because I was one of those poor bastards who got...
I think that's what he was trying to do until you told him to...
Oh, sorry. Okay. I thought you were just mentioning it. I thought you were just bringing it up that there's an after credit scene. I was just like, please, will you, please? Literally haven't seen it. So
just quick question, right? Because I haven't seen it. The Conjuring, does that start off with a haunted house and then go into somebody being possessed?
The Conjuring?
Which one? All of them.
No, as in, is one film a haunted house and then the next film is somebody possessed?
All of them are a haunted house with someone being possessed.
Okay, never mind.
No.
Never mind.
The Conjuring started with Annabelle.
No, we're not talking about The Ring. We're talking about Conjuring.
Yeah, I know.
I thought he was asking about The Conjuring.
Oh, yeah.
It started with Annabelle doll.
Yeah.
Talking to two girls, and then they go into the Conjuring movie.
Because of the after credit scene in this, you can see where two of the characters, this could be the start of a series of films, potentially.
Oh, so there's
That was literally like a sequel.
So are you trying to say there's a Conjuring ending is what I'm picking up?
Well, basically, they make mention of, over the course of the film,
they literally laid it out for a sequel.
Yeah, over the course, during the film, they mentioned that there's another potential thing for them to investigate.
Right.
So the after credits scene is them looking at the footage of what they could potentially be investigating next.
The post credits actually is what pissed me off about this movie, because it was all so well laid out, and then the post credit was like, "We're gonna have a sequel. We're gonna have a sequel." It was just blatant in your face.
I won't lie to you, dude. I'm at a stage from between doing American Horrors and doing all the other shit I've been doing over the last couple of years. I'm at a stage where I'm kind of if you're pitching a horror movie, I think they nearly want you to be pitching a sequel by the end of it.
I get that, but this,
if you think about fucking hell, if you take the last 20 years, and I think that's
true,
probably a narrow margin, to be honest. Now that I'm thinking about it, but if you take the last 20 years and look at the majority of mainstream horror movies that have come out, there's none of them that haven't been designed with a sequel. I won't lie to you. From a guy who's done a lot of this kind of shit, I mean, when you're pitching a movie, they actually want you to kind of have a rough idea where it may go after that if the movie goes fucking
because money.
Yes, yeah.
I say a lot of that really started in the late the 80s is where it really kind of started, because horror movies were cheap to make.
Yeah.
In the 80s, the 80s is when they started basically kind of going, we've made money on this, we can continue to make money on this.
Yeah.
So now, looking back on it, they know in their heads, once we make money on the first one,
the 80s,
we need to be ready to make money on more of them.
The 80s were kind of 80s were kind of cashing in on the 60s and the 70s, if you think about it, because you had the Hammer horrors and you had all of that, where they were kind of like Dracula this, Werewolf Man that, and Wolfman this, and Wolfman that, and Dracula, Frankenstein, and they were kind of
that stuff still.
But that was all. They were only tied in by, it's this guy from the last movie doing another thing in a different, completely different movie. And I get where you're saying that it was by the 80s they were kind of is there a way we can cohesively maybe
plan it out,
keep telling stories?
But the 80s kind of
cohesively being a very
grave
big word
and
there,
that
by the way.
Suddenly hinted at, we may do a sequel. We might. I don't. It wasn't until fucking Marvel.
Hang on. That's the thing though, because the way this film is, they might not necessarily be leading up to a sequel. It might just literally just be going, oh, by the way, this is what happened to the characters after the story.
Yeah, it could literally be just a bit of clarification that they hunt down more than just this particular incident.
And that's true. My argument is time period. Back in the 80s, when a hand came up out of the grave, it was like, oh, I hope I get a fucking sequel. Don't know, don't give a shit, because you were happy with whatever.
Yeah,
then
I won't lie to you, dude, and it's going to sound weird that I mentioned this because it's technically not horror, but it's applicable. If you want to blame anybody for that style of ending, ring Disney and tell them to go fuck themselves, because it's Marvel.
Correct,
Disney and Marvel are 100% the reason that post-credit scene. Post-credit scenes, they happened occasionally. Do you know what I mean? And then Marvel came out, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, you better stay to the end of that fucking movie, because there's probably a big hint as to what's happening next at the end of the next,
Yeah, but that's because they knew they had it planned out.
Oh yeah. I'm not disputing the dude. I'm not disputing the logistics of it. It's literally a market. It's marketing fucking genius. Do you know what I mean? You're not just getting a fucking text or verbal hint as to what's going on. You're literally getting a little bit of the movie happening directly in front of your face, and you're like, well, fuck me sideways. I want to see that happen.
Because what was it? Marvel did this for 10 years?
Oh, fuck. Jesus. Literally from day one.
They knew.
Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Was the first.
And Hulk, even though it never really continued on. There's a bit of mentions.
There's a direct. There's
the Edward Norton one.
Yeah.
The Edward Norton one is directly tied in because it has the scene with Stark. Now, here's the point that I was going to make. I knew from the second that Iron Man had been announced that there was going to be 3 phases and then it would take about 10 years. So I was able to sit down and talk to people and predict shit that was coming out.
Yeah.
And people are looking at me going, how do you know all this? And I'm looking at them going,
because they've been writing it since the 80s, you numbnut fuck.
No, I meant because they've told us that these are the films that are coming out. But
right. But post-credits, though, like I said, in the 80s, it was like a hand came up. You didn't know if you were getting another fucking movie. It wasn't until, like, Marvel was like, post-credits.
Did they really do that in the post credits? It was more just like,
dude. Here's the thing, and here's the thing.
Good guy gets the girl, and then all of a sudden, like a few minutes later, a hand would come up.
Yeah, but you see,
it wasn't until Disney was like, "Oh, we're like 6 minutes into a fucking credit, post credit." Wow, it's like that was weird.
I was expecting him to talk. I was waiting for him to talk because he was waiting for you to stop.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to finish.
Sorry, I saw you starting to talk, so I stopped.
Oh, the thing with that post end credit scene is that, okay. Like, I know I took the piss out of it because Disney were like, they're the ones that made it prevalent, but it's because Disney went in with a plan, or sorry, not Disney went in, but Marvel went in with a plan. As in, this is where this goes, that goes to this, that goes to that. All of these guys need to get their separate movies, and then we have the big movie where they all team up. Do you know what I mean? But since that's happened, and Giz and I were taking the piss out of this and I'm using this as a slight bit of a segue to get into the end of the show, but Giz and I were pointing this out when we were talking about the Army of the Dead movie. Like, as in, now the way that Marvel have done their thing, all movie companies, if you mention cinematic universe to them, where it's a case of, oh, yeah, I know we've done this movie, but there's another guy that's within the realm of this movie that these 2 characters from this movie go off to investigate. I'm trying to keep it on the don't listen topic, if you know what I mean. And that branches off from there. And then by the end of that, they solve this whole kind of, in a Scooby-Doo kind of style, they've solved this whole kind of caper. And then we see them getting a fucking email about my daughter's possessed. And you see her doing a whole fucking around the fucking house. And it's just kind of like, okay, cool. And we know we're going to be dealing with possessed as fucking daughter in the next movie. Do you know what I mean? Why, Google, I didn't even say you. Why are you looking up possessed as fuck daughter? I don't even know.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have this, like, watching the fucking credits.
Mm-hmm.
We just, like, good guy walked off of the fucking hot chick, we all live, blah, blah, blah. A hand came up out of the fucking grave. We were like, oh, my God. Credits. We all left the fucking theater.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, like, Marvel.
Rochi may have actually nailed it on the head because he just went, well, Casper the Ghost is actually in the Ghostbusters universe. Nice. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, if you ever wanted a... Why does Giz look like he's having an aneurysm? Why are you not aware of this?
What are you talking about?
Well, Dan Aykroyd in the cast... I may be wrong because Rochi and I haven't had a conversation about this, but I'm assuming this is the tie-in, is the fact that Dan Aykroyd shows up very much as Dan Aykroyd from Ghostbusters in the Casper movie to try and Ghostbust the shit out of them, but then all of the... Yeah, you know the Ghostbuster guy that they hire to de-haunt the house?
Dude, I haven't seen Casper in like a dog's age.
Yeah, the guy that they hire to de-haunt the house because Casper's fine, but the 3 uncles are assholes, is literally Dan Aykroyd. And he literally pretty much has the Ghostbusters logo on the side of the car.
Rochi, you're killing it. I did not realize that.
I love the fact that all 3 of you are gobsmacked, and I'm the one that had the fucking nerd knowledge for once. I'm so happy with myself.
Anyway, can we start maybe?
Yes, we'll start rounding up. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, the whole point of me mentioning the Army of the Dead in relation to the cinematic universes. Giz, why are you shaking your head? This is literally the fucking segue into the end of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
Chill thy jets, sunshine. Johnny's got it covered. Okay? So, as I said, when it comes to cinematic universes, Giz and I were discussing recently in an upcoming American Horrors episode, how the whole it's gone that way now. That if you're bringing a movie, they want to see where it's going to go 7 movies later. Do you know what I mean? Just in case that the movie goes well.
But my problem is they put it in like the last literal minute and some change at the ass end of it.
Yes, that's why it's called a post-credit scene. Otherwise, it would just be part of the movie. Anyway, back to the segue.
That was the segue. I'm saying that like a lot of Marvel's things was like a minute into the credits. This is like if you're watching Netflix, you will fucking miss it.
Yeah, that's why you always go back to the movie in Netflix and skip to the end. If anyone's ever watched the Joel McHale show where they have a literal guy singing about Netflix is did you watch Santa Clarita Diet?
Yeah.
Do you know the the way the 2 main people from Santa Clarita Diet are real estate agents?
Yeah.
Do you know the absolute asshole couple that they deal with?
They're
the guy,
fucking nemesis.
Yeah. The guy from Community.
Oh.
Joel McHale.
Okay.
He had like a fucking weird shit that happens on the internet show. So they literally had a dude. Fuck, this really derailed my segue. They had an internet. They had a guy who literally sang the outro song to the end of the show every week. And if you were not anally retentive the way I was, where you were like, I've heard the start of the song and now I need to hear the end of the song, where you rewound and made Netflix play it for you, is actually a completely different song every week, and mostly the song revolves around how Netflix is about to cut them off at the exact point that Netflix cuts them off. It was so well timed. It was fucking majestic. Anyway, cinematic universes was actually the segue I was trying to work on. So, as myself and Giz mentioned in an upcoming episode on American Horrors this Sunday, 8:30 p.m. CC, and whatever that equates to as GMTs, we are going to be talking about the Army of the Dead movie / also all of the crazy bullshit that came out, fan theory-wise, I suppose, although slightly also director-confirmed theory-wise, about the movie, literally about 48 hours after the movie released on Netflix. As I said, that's going to be happening on 8:30 p.m. CST, whatever that equates to as GMTs, only on American Horrors this Sunday. If you don't have Roku, you can watch it on www.americanhorrors.com and also strictlystreaming.com and Glue TV. And if you do have Roku, use channel code AMHOR to add American Horrors to your Roku listings. And other than that, also, before I go, very quickly.
4 stars. Watch this movie.
Are you talking about Army of the Dead?
No, I'm talking about don't listen because we never get a rating.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, Jesus Christ. Giz was so rushing to the end, I forgot about the...
Actually, no, I was bringing up the rating and then you jumped into the segue.
Yeah, you were rushing. I just thought it was... Okay, fine. Everyone do a rating.
Me, I'm good. Sorry.
Google, I didn't even say your name. Why are you bringing things up on my phone?
Because it likes fucking with you.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. I'm at that stage where I'm just like, it likes fucking with me. Anyway, okay. Everybody's rating for Don't Listen, please. Buzz, do you have any points to add in? You haven't talked in like 35 minutes. I thought I should.
That's because 3 other people wouldn't stop talking for 35 minutes, and I didn't want to add to the noise.
You should have just yelled until someone listened to you the way we all do.
When I do that, I get told to shut up. So I don't.
That's not true.
That is true.
No, it's not true.
3, go.
Anyone else?
Give it a 3.
4. I dug the shit out of this movie. Even though it was slow paced, I dug the shit out of it at the ass end of it.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
I would probably also be a 3. Right.
Roshi, Buzz, you need a cowbell to control these maniacs.
He doesn't need a cowbell, which would have been nice if someone was like, oh, you haven't done the rating yet before I went into the full-blown outro.
I like your flow, dude. I can't interrupt.
I won't lie to you. I repeatedly said segue, and then once I fucking call it segue, I'm going for the segue. It's like if you give a guy a ball and he's going for a touchdown. Do you know what I mean? You can't be like, oh, would you mind terribly running off into the crowd, taking a loop around and trying to get the touchdown that way? I'm going for the goal, son.
Devil, you've got this form.
Yeah,
and you're like, touchdown. I'm like, holy shit.
I'm the goddamn
can't help
segue master, bar Weird Al Yankovic when he did White and Nerdy. Anyway, everything I said about cinematic universes and the segue into Army of the Dead. Myself and Giz have a episode coming out in American Horrors this Sunday, 8:30 p.m. CST. Whatever that equates to is GMTs, only on American Horrors. Channel code AMHOR if you have it on Roku. And if you don't have it on Roku, check it out on strictlystream.com, www.americanhorrors.com. And
don't forget to subscribe thing.
Glued TV. I was getting to the subscribe thing. Also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't been to the channel before, please drop a like and a subscribe on the channel. It really does help us grow and everything. I have a subscribe button that we can hit. There we go. Oh, look at it. Do you see the finger where it points at the subscribe button? You should do that. And if you actually do enjoy the content that we do, there's another bell-looking icon to the right of that subscribe button. If you just click that as well, it'll give you a notification, supposedly, as to when we go live. Other than that, jump myself in the game. 3 and a 2. Is that what I got for the movie, by the way?
No, 3, 3 and a 4.
3, 3 and a 4.
Average 3.5.
Perfect. Great. Perfect. Giz, you and your Matt today. I'm going to get drunk every weekend, or every week. I'm enjoying not having to do the fucking... Okay, fine, I won't get drunk. Dude,
only because it's 2:30 in the Smeggin morning.
Yeah, okay, look, there was a lot of not movie
I don't
related
know
talk.
since 8:30.
Hey, GoreCast out, assholes. Say goodbye, everyone.
Later.
Hey, did you hear that new zombie film by Zack Snyder, Army of the Dead, is out?
Yeah, it's really good for zombies and aliens. You don't get to see it in a movie normally.
Zombies and aliens? What are you talking about?
Yeah, the aliens at the start of the movie. The ones with the robot zombies.
What?
Time and responsible for the time loop at the end of the movie.
The what loop?
The time loop at the end of the movie.
It's a zombie film.
With aliens and robot zombies and a time loop in it.
What?
Oh, baby. Oh, join myself and the kids this Sunday, 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that equates to is GMTs, only on American Horrors. We're going to be talking all about Zack Snyder's new movie, Army of the Dead, in a review format, and also talking about some of the whack shit crazy theories that have come out since the movie's been released. 8:30 p.m. CST, and whatever that equates to is GMTs, only on American Horrors. What?
A tinfoil hat.
It is a tinfoil hat, Chess. Don't forget, if you enjoy our Madcap GoreCast horror hijinks, we stream 3 nights a week over on YouTube, Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays, where you can see a little bit of this. Turd spoon, god damn, I knew there was something I wanted to bring up in the... God damn, I don't know what a fucking turd spoon is, but I'm mad to...
Get it pretty in depth.
Most definitely some of this.
With a new 2009 twist. She pulls out of her vagina.
I'll give it to her though, because you know how magicians kind of do something and they pause dramatically? She took that dramatic pause.
And occasionally some of this.
Our favorite Halloween movies.
What's up, GoreCasters? Welcome back here to the GoreCast. Yeah, okay, I'm here. I'm back.